We start the show with a bang. 6.7 earthquake to start the show. Rattling away. What a great weekend. Unbelievable, man. I mean, I got to tell you, without a doubt, I mean, when you're in an earthquake area like I am, and most of the time we don't usually get them because when you're in Southern California like that, you don't really get the earthquakes that much because the bedrock is not like it is up in Northern California and in the LA area. But when you get that thing rattling, rolling, that was as long as I've ever been. That was the most frightening earthquake I've ever been in. And the epicenter was right at the Big Sills house where it should be. Right here at the Big Sills house. Of course, right? Nowhere else but here where I live. Hey, guess what? Sileo just had an earthquake. You know, funny, sometimes that would not shock me. I mean, that would not shock me. Unbelievable. Of course. Hey, where did the earthquake happen? Silio's house. Everybody in here would go, yeah, that makes sense. Holy cow, what a sports weekend. Again, we're 10 days out from the NFL draft. You're in the land of misinformation right now. So everything, and by the way, this note, hey, Xander, who will have at 4:30, Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 3:30. You want to know the difference between Big Sills, Jeff Kerr, and John McMullen? And there's my man Xander sitting in the middle. Hey, fellas, you have to do a fucking show. Okay? So when somebody throws out TJ Watt to the Eagles, I can't believe that no shit. But still, and by the way, in the land of misinformation, anything is possible. Anything is possible. It just makes me sick when I watch and I see misinformation on Twitter. Hello, welcome to the world of X. Welcome to the world of the NFL. Oh, my God. Dude, what do you think we do here for 4 hours? We speculate. We're like gold miners. That's why this is what it is. This is a content king show. Hey, I don't want content. I want facts. Here, I'll do this. I'll do my show like the Masters. Everybody, good afternoon. It's about a 20-foot putt from me to you on delivering content. These gladiators will circle and loop around the golf course. I mean, come on, man. That's not what we do here. How you doing? Hit that like button. Super chats go to the top. Real quick on the Masters. It's not the greatest round I've ever seen in my life. Some of the best drama. Probably since Tiger's 2019 Masters win. It's not like the first Tiger win where that thing got 20 ratings. And by the way, the Tiger factor is still in play. The first 3 rounds did not get very good ratings. Second round, not too bad. The fourth round will get exceptional ratings. But Rory created trauma by his own hands. You know, hey, Rory could give you a double bogey, but he can also give you a double eagle. And I think that's kind of the draw of Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy, in so many ways, is probably the Brett Favre of golf. You know, this guy's going to put a spectacular shot. And he is going to do something amazing. He's also going to do something bonehead, like stick it in the water on 13. How can he do that? Then he turns around and gets an eagle. 6th man to win the career Grand Slam. Joins Tiger, Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player. That's the only men off the top of my head. Sarazen first, Hogan second, Nicklaus third, Player, Tiger, and now Rory. I believe that's how it goes. 6 man to do it. at one of the most prestigious golf courses and sporting events in the world. It was really great. I mean, no doubt, the drama was awesome. Drama was great. Hey, Bryson DeChambeau, I'm a fan of that guy. Hey, did Rory say a word to you the entire 4 hours? No, he just went nothing to do with me. Okay, that's good for golf. That's good for sports. A villain and the guy in the white hat. You can't have a great sport without villains. I keep telling baseball that. The sport was at its best when you had Barry Bonds in it. When you had a villain. Villains make sports. The Patriots were. You know why the Chiefs aren't what the Patriots were? Because the Patriots were villains. You know, the football fan is trying to make the Chiefs a villain, kind of in a way, because they get all the calls. Maybe they do. But the Patriots, they were going out of their way to tape practices, deflate gate. I mean, doing all that stuff, illegal formations, everything they could possibly do. They were the modern day Raiders. America is attracted to that. Half of America likes it. Half of America hates it. That's what made the Patriots a must-watch television show. That's what makes the Cowboys a must-watch television show. The owner creates drama for the organization. Can't have a great sport if you don't have villains in it. Baseball has no villains. There's not a bad guy. When you have a bad guy in your sport, you got it going on. People love to root for and against villains. Dude, if that was the case, everybody would have loved Tim Duncan. This guy had more championship wins than Shaq. Did it in one place for 17 and a half years. You looked at Tim Duncan, you went, that's very boring. The only thing that was kind of drama-ridden was their coach, Greg Popovich. Love it, man. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. God, I can't believe we're 10 days out to the NFL draft. By the way, Malachi Starks, one of my 5 sandbox guys. We're going to rank my top 5 players that are in the draft. We're going to do that today as well. TJ Watt, do you think it's real? We'll hit on that as well. Hey, by the way, again, whether or not the TJ Watt deal is going to work or not, or would it work, or would it even be a real thing? Do you know why it's out there? Agents. You know those deals that get posted either on WIP or when we do, like when Xander and John McMullen, when those guys do a video on any movement that the Eagles do, you know those numbers that they get that have been posted? They're bullshit. You don't know what that deal has been consummated until it goes through the Players Association. They got to ratify the deal first. They got to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted when it comes to signing bonuses, payouts, making sure the agent doesn't take care of the player. The agents are the one that throw those deals out, not the Players Association, nor the league or the team. Most of the time, it's misinformation. Look at this guy. Signed a 4-year, $157 million deal. You're like, wait a minute here. Let's find out what the real fucking money is. That'll be in about 10 days when it gets ratified by the Players Association. Funny how it works, though, right? Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Sills, my final 2 guys at 32 are Starks and Pierce. I'm in the room with you there, Kyle. Guys, do me a favor. See, like Kyle, please hit that like button. We'll do that here in a minute. There's a guy out there that I'm starting to warm up to that some of you have suggested to me on a trade that potentially makes sense for the Eagles. And also, I wonder what Cooper DeJean is figuring and thinking about this one situation. As I said, Angelo Cataldi, he will join us at 3:30. All right, let's get into the topics here. Is this fair to say that the 2026 season is more important than the 2025 season for the Eagles? Their actions prove it. These $3 players that they're signing, and with no context of anything except for the fact that they've been failures everywhere else, plus the players that they've lost, it dictates exactly what I'm saying. And the behavior of the owner, the behavior of the GM, and also on top of that, the comments of the GM and the comments of the head coach and the comments of the owner. They are putting more of a prerequisite on paying players in the future. So how could 25 matter? I'm not saying that they're going to take a year off, but you guys have been telling me this, Xander included. Hey, you can't pay everyone, and they've got deals coming up. Isn't that what Xander and John and everybody at IP and the Fanatic, the Inquirer saying? You guys got a ton of deals coming up, potentially even more money if Nolan's all of that. How does that pertain to 25? You know what it does? 2025 is a sacrificial year. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the future matters more than this year. Look at their actions, James. How does it not? How does it not? How does it, with their actions, name me one thing that was proactive for 2025? The contract extension for Barkley was for the future. The restructuring was for the future. The letting players go was for the future. The letting go of C.J. Gardner-Johnson was for the future. Name me one thing they did for today and for 25. Name me one thing they did for 2025 that was proactive for 2025 that made their team better. Name me one. Go ahead, Twiz. Name me one. Name me one. Go ahead, Twiz. A.J. Dillon, dime store cowboy. One thing. They're sacrificing 2025. How are they not? Go ahead, Twiz. Name me one thing. One thing they did for 2025. Joshua Uche. Come on, Twiz. Name me one thing. One thing. Shit, Zach Bond? Okay, Zach Bond. Name me another. You did more for the future than Zach Bond. But okay. One thing. Give me another thing outside of Zach Bond. Game over. One fucking move, and they lose 5 starters on defense. Game over. You did Zach Bond. What else did you do for your future? What did you do right now for 2025? Staying young. Okay? Staying young? You must be under the impression, Charlie, that Josh Sweat and Milton Williams were old dudes. They have done nothing to secure the 2025 season. Here, their comments. We got to pay people in the future. Shit, Xander makes that comment, and John every day. Can't sign everyone. Here, I'll give you the cliches. Can't sign everyone. They got a lot of young players coming up to decide on what they're going to do. That's nothing to do with right now. Nothing for 2025. And the guys that you have brought in, you're trying to talk yourself into them being good players. You realize that? You're trying to talk yourself into it. They are sacrificing the 2025 season to ensure that their window of opportunity is open longer. Nothing wrong with that. But don't sit here and try to tell me that the 2025 season was important when you've cut loose all these young football players. Get this. What's fake? Come on, dickhead. What's fake? What's fake? What did you do besides Zach Bond? Everything has been, get this. So he's calling the head coach a liar. He's calling the owner a liar. He's calling the GM a liar. He's calling him a liar. Hey, by the way, I'm just echoing what they're saying. I haven't said anything here that's not been said by the owner, the GM, and the head coach. Chills, I can't see these other teams drafting DL to replicate the Eagles pushing all the O-line down for us, except the trade back or O-line at 32. Why would you draft a right guard at 32, though, dude? I just don't get that. Hey, Brian, how about these stiffs in here? Thinking that they've made positive moves this year for this year in 2025. Where? This is made up. Also, we kept the bulk of your starters. You lost a quarter of your reps off of the number one defensive football team in the league. 25% of the defensive football number one defense is gone. That's a fact. I heard John this morning go like this. Well, 25% on the Raiders is not as important as 25%. You maintained the core? What core? You lost both. You lost two dudes in your front four and two dudes in your secondary. What fucking core? What core? Jalen Carter? You're not going to win a Super Bowl just with him. You lost 25% of the guys who got massive reps and were on the top flight defense. Hey, losing 25% in Las Vegas with a shitty Raider team has nowhere the same impact on losing 25% of your reps with the number one defense in the NFL. Hey, and by the way, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything that Vic Fangio, the GM, and the head coach have said. So remember, anybody saying anything in here, they're lying. If they are contradicting what I'm saying, they're lying. Lying. Hey, and by the way, 25% of your reps, you lost half your defense. Half your defense and starters. Outside of Zach Bond, I'll ask you one more time. What did they do to ensure success of 2025? Name me one thing they have said that gives them the great chance in 2020. Chip McMullen's picking the Commanders to win. Name me one thing. Here, and by the way, you've lost 5 starters on defense. 50% of your defense is gone. Your core. 50% of your defense is gone. How you doing? 50%. Not the same team. I don't know about you. And again, you go into battle and you lose half of your regiment. You guys still think you're going to go out there and be the same regiment. How funny. Okay, get this. Let me throw Sue up here. Who cares? 2025 may not be the year, but it feels for 2026. Hey, Sue, Let me say this to you. That's my point. They're taking a step back this year. They're going to take a step back. They're saying it. Their actions say it. Nothing they have said has not, get this, everything they've actually said, they've done. Everything they said, they've done it. End of the day, we have to downsize. End of the day, we can't pay everyone. End of the day, we got guys in the future we got to pay. 2025, what about that year? In addressing them with Terrence Mathis and Joshua Uche or Aguilara, that's not telling me anything about 25. Those are just dudes. Guys you just signed. I think they're sacrificing 25. And you know why they're getting the benefit? Because they did win the Super Bowl. I think you got to come to grips. 2025 is going to be, in my opinion, a walk back year. Shit, I heard John McMullen even give it a, down in the late 20s that the defense was going to fall from 1. That I don't believe. I don't believe the defense is going to go from 1 to 25. But I do believe the defense will go probably down between 12 and 15. Somewhere in there. How could it not? Okay? Let's see here. Sills, shitting on the idea of repeat. Sills creating controversy. Get this. Let's see if Sam says I'm creating controversy. Let me write down the words of the owner, GM, owner, and head coach. Try to create controversy. Really? Okay. The GM won't look the same. Owner, have a lot of young players. We have to sign in the future. Gardner Johnson, it was the money thing. Future. Why couldn't you keep Josh Sweat and Milton Williams? Can't pay everyone. Future. What have I said? That's a lie. What did I say that wasn't true? That the organization hasn't. So when that guy says I create controversy, no, you're just giving them they're fucking telling you the truth. And you don't want to hear it. I have not heard one thing about 25. Sills, it's a trend. We always follow a Super Bowl with a Jerry Jones offseason. 2025 is a reset year. None of these are needle movers. Absolutely. There's nothing you have done outside of addressing your own guys. That's the needle mover. You've done nothing to improve the chances of you repeating. Hey, how in the world do you sit here on April 14th and sit here and say you've improved your chances from February 9th? What a stupid, just an absolute ridiculous take. Where have you improved your chances of winning the Super Bowl in Santa Clara? Well, the draft's still to come. It's a shitty draft. Well, free agency. It's a shitty free agency. Are you going to trade for a player? Maybe. Get this. Silstead, I didn't say that you weren't losing players like this like you did a year ago. Nobody knew what you had. And most of those players had been on your team. Josh Sweat was on your team 5 years. Milton Williams, 3 years. Darius Slay, 3 years with all Pro Bowl reps. Let me give you something else. I know Xander's not a big fan of Milton Williams. You know Milton Williams? What was that somebody gave me on him? Oh, I know. Alonzo Highsmith sent this to me on Milton Williams. He was the #1 defensive interior tackle for pressures on a quarterback, according to PFF and to the Patriots. He was the second best interior tackle. Second best. Maro Jomo Umiacho. Okay? Get this. Listen to look at this one from Brandon. We don't care if we've improved our chances. Okay? As long as we know that you didn't get better, our chances are still good. We're financially wise for the future. Correct. Even if our chances decreased a bit, we're still contenders. What you did was you made the rest of the NFC closer to you. You had a wide lead on February 9th. What you did was you said to the Rams, come on in. Come on, Rams. You said, Commanders, come on in. Whatever you make of the, get this. I hear people talking shit and taking shots at the Commanders. At least they added players that could play. At least they added players who were great. May not be the same players they were a couple of years ago. These guys have all been colossal failures. Laremy Tunsil and Deebo Samuel were never, ever colossal failures. Never. Commanders got better. Chicago got better. By the way, I didn't say better team, better rosters. That's all you can do. The Eagle roster's lesser by far. Okay? Seals, we're going to handle these teams when these teams matter the most. Mark my words. Okay? We shall see. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Once again, the re-signing of Bond was for 25. Absolutely true. Name me one other thing. Give me your top 3 things the Eagles have done for the 2025 season for your chances of repeating. Name me your top 3 things. Zach Bond, 1. What else? Can't give me your replacements. Those replacements stink. Except Moro and Jomo. Rest of them stink. Name me one. Zach Bond, go ahead. Let's get the top 3 areas that the Eagles improved to win the Super Bowl. You didn't improve the secondary. You lost half of it. You lost a guy with 6 interceptions and a fucking Pro Bowler. This guy's trying to tell you and sell you that the Eagles got better in their secondary. Hey, Brandon, how did they get better in their secondary? Just help me out. Where did they get better? Where? Where did they get better in the secondary? Okay? Where did they get better? I'm waiting. Come on, Brandon. Get this. Let's go to this guy here. Twiz, what do you think they're going to do in the draft? Let me show you how fucking stupid this Twiz take is. I actually like this guy. Okay? Let me show you how fucking stupid this. Hey, folks, anybody with some... Hey, Kyle, you got a brain cell about you here. How long did it take Nolan Smith before you guys started saying that Nolan Smith was a good player? 2 years? Okay. Nolan Smith. Now you guys got him as a bona fide Derek Thomas. It took Nolan Smith 2 years By the way, I disagree with many people on my network and around Philadelphia. They keep telling me that they've had great drafts. No, Jordan Davis has underachieved. Okay. Nolan Smith, how long before, what was it, 2 years for Nakobe? 3 years for Milton? Shit, Josh Sweat was the only consistent thing in your front four. Who else? Shit, Reed Blankenship? Okay. Take him, 3 years before we all started going, he's good. So what makes you think a rookie's going to roll in and all of a sudden have an impact year at 32 or maybe even at 35 or 37? When you haven't had one player outside of Jalen Carter have an impact in their rookie year except for Quinion and for Cooper in the last 3 years. But you're going to find that in a weak draft at 32. Let me ask you this. If Cooper DeJean were in this draft, where would he be drafted? For safety, nickel, corner, what have you. So if coaching matters, which it does, then what's your take on the fact that we kept the entire defensive coaching staff? I'm going by Vic Fangio. We lost a lot of players, Howie. I'm going to be in your office the entire time, making sure we try to retool them. This was a week ago he said it. Top 15? Top 20? Top 6? Top 6 is out. Safeties don't go in the top 10. Well, I don't know. I don't know when that kid Christian Gonzalez went. I'm not sure where he went. I'm not sure where that dude went or where Witherspoon. Okay. Maybe top 12. What pick was Cooper DeJean last year? Can someone help me out? What number did he go? We have seen flashes from all of our other picks, but the goofy, sloppy, fatty Jordan Davis has shown nothing, absolutely nothing. Buttered toast. What? He was the 40th pick. Okay. And you guys are saying he'd be a top 10 pick. Doesn't that tell you a little bit about the draft? You're telling me the 40th pick would be a top 10 pick now. I agree. And all of a sudden, you're going to get a guy at 32. And I'll tell you guys one more time. Every time you hear the word no, I've got Walter Nolan too. But Walter Nolan looks a little bit like Jordan Davis to me. But he's less limited. I'll ask you one more time. Hit the like button, guys. Where have they improved your chances of repeating Super Bowl champions in 2025 so far? Free agency has stunk. Stunk for everyone, really. Not just the Eagles. Stunk for everyone. Okay? So the free agency's out. Now you're going to improve your team in the draft with younger players. Okay. I don't believe that to save your lives. Could Morrow or Joe get beat out by the kid they draft? Yes. Could Keely Ringo will not be. If Keely Ringo is your starting corner, you are in huge trouble. I've never seen a draft where the prospective draft boards fluctuate so much amongst all the experts. Paul, that's when you know they're not sold on anybody. That's right. Hey, Paul, what's the only two names that have not fluctuated? Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. And to some extent, Cam Ward. Have those three guys been at the top of the boards, pretty much everybody's board? Look at everybody's mock draft. 99% of them, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or reverse with the Hunter and Carter deal, right? Those three players. The rest of them, that's after the third pick. After the third pick, everybody's mock draft, dude, you could throw anything up there right now, and you wouldn't be wrong. I got to tell you, guys are going to be very disappointed, and players are going to be very shocked come April 24th. Some are going to go, holy shit, I went in the top 5. Some are going to go, I can't believe I went 32. I'm starting to tell you, and I'm starting to believe that top pick and that 32nd pick are pretty valuable picks. Because if I were Howie, I'd give that thing up to the best available bidder. Highest bidder gets it. And what you're hoping for, more teams make decisions. Why do you think Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed with a team? He's not signing with Minnesota. They bring in another veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins. And get this, they're not even sold on J.J. McCarthy up there. Look at the Steelers. Steelers may take Shador. Why hasn't he signed? He ain't signing there. He'd rather go to Las Vegas. The Philadelphia Eagles are sacrificing the 2025 season to ensure and secure their future. That's the theme of this year. Pump, you're awesome. Thank you, bro. I believe we are better at outside corner. With Keely Ringo? Slay was a pity start sales. Listen, it wasn't a pity start. He was a good player. Come on, Pump. You know he was good. My problem with him was he was always banged up at the end. Ringo will be solid outside corner. Dude, he had 87 reps. And when they went to him, they never went to him. They went to Isaiah Rodgers. I don't believe Vic Fangio trusts him. Ringo. Okay, you think he's on the rise. All right, hey, Pump, we'll see. No draft has been filled with character issues, attitude issues, and inconsistency issues like this draft. Sam, amen. Sam, you want to hear something? I'm going to make this point, and I'm going to make a prediction to you, Sam. I bet you there's a dude in the second, third, or fourth round that will have the biggest impact of any player that goes in the first round. Here's the reason why. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are going to shitbox teams. Where are the Browns going? Figure this out too. So the Browns are going to have potentially either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett. And you're going to win 5 games. Okay. Wow. Great. You got 2 great edge rushers and nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. You said Rodgers was not a hitter. He's not a hitter. He's not a hitter. You keep telling me Keely Ringo's a hitter. Today's NFL, corners don't have to be hitters. Dude, today's NFL, they're not looking for corners that hit. They're looking for free safeties and strong safeties that can hit. Daryl Sting? That guy Stingley's not a hitter. Derek Stingley is not a hitter. Patrick Surtain is not a hitter. They're not hitters. The league doesn't want that. Isaiah Rodgers is actually what the league wants at corner. They don't want a physical corner play. They want big numbers at wideout. Tomlin loves Hurts, which McIlroy is most like. Hey, man, as far as I'm concerned, Kimbo, I think there's only one Jalen Hurts. I don't think there's a ton of those guys in the draft. I don't think there's a ton of those guys in college football. If you're looking for the next, you'll be looking forever. You got to find your own unique player and build an offense like the Eagles did around that guy. Jalen Hurts is not going to go to the Carolina Panthers and make that thing a winner. I don't know any quarterback that could, except for maybe Mahomes. I don't give a shit what your last name is. Josh Allen included. You don't have a good organization around you. Again, remember, Jalen Hurts is limited as a passer. He's not considered. One thing that's been absolutely true in his 5 years as an NFL quarterback, he's inconsistent as a every Sunday starting quarterback from the pocket. That has been a fact. Look at his body of work. They win by playing smart, fundamentally sound football. Run it, defend it. It's been the mantra of the team. Let's be real. Abdul and Hunter wouldn't be top 10 picks this year. This draft is so weak. Howie will make another draft day trade like AJ. I'm starting to think that, Leon. Secondaries don't have to be like the 70 Raiders team or Soul Patrol. Correct. You don't have to have, you don't have lockdown corners anyway, so you're right. Paul, you're right. And, that ridiculous comment that people make in here that the Eagles have lockdown corners. There's no such thing. The terminology is even wrong. When you play 10 yards off the ball, that's not lockdown. Lockdown is a man cover. The Eagles don't play man. They play in 3% of the game. And that is not what they do. Dude, your corners and safeties that you're looking at now all play zone in college. There's not one corner on your football team now that's a man corner. You don't have one corner on your team now that played man in college. How the fuck do you call it a cover corner when you don't even have a man corner? We got lockdown corners. Dude, you have great zone corners. And I will say great zone corners. They're really good at it. Absolutely. You can have a tall corner that isn't fast but long arms. High IQ, beat speed. You know what you're talking there is you're talking Darrelle Revis there, Forrest. That's how Revis played the game. That's right. That's how Revis. Hold on here. I don't believe that. Here, let me give you my assessment of the Lions. Lions got to show me they can win big games. I know the Eagles can. The Eagles do. Even with the limited roster they have of a year ago. By the way, I'll tell you something else that's getting a little bit that I have to, for me even, you know what I have to do? The Eagles set such a bar for that roster a year ago. By the end of the year, what it looked like, there is such a high standard. Even I have to modify it. The chances of you, what do you think the chances are that you duplicate one of the best, if not the best roster in Philadelphia Eagle history? Your fucking owner even said, trying to duplicate what we did a year ago, everything was so perfect, is going to be quite the task. That's Jeffrey Lurie's words. That's Jeffrey Lurie's words. I even have to do this. Dude, for the Eagles to even get in the same room of having the perfect roster, and it was. I'm trying to think. How many Super Bowl winning teams do I think that team? Let me do this. Let me go down this list here. Super Bowl champions. Super Bowl champions list. Let me take a look at this. By the way, Supers go to the top. Thank you, guys. Please hit that like button. Let me go down here, and I'm going to talk about rosters. In the last 20 years, let me go 20 years. I'm not going to go back into the whatever. Did the Eagles have a better roster in Kansas City? Here. What roster would I take? Eagles or KC? Eagles. Did the Eagles have a better roster than the 2024 Super Bowl team? Yes. This 24 team, Eagles. Better than the Kansas City Chiefs 22 team. Eagles 24. They played the 22 Eagles. The Rams. That's a pretty good roster. With Donald, Stafford, Kupp, Odell Beckham. I'm still going to take the Eagle roster over that Rams 2022 team. Okay? So far right now, 1, 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls. Over that Tom Brady Bucs team. That's a pretty good team. They were good on. I'm going to write down that 2020 Tom Brady Bucs team. I didn't say they were better yet. Kansas City 2020, that's with Tyreek Hill on it and Honey Badger. I think the Eagles 24 team's better. That Patriots 2018 team, I think the Eagles 24 team is better. By the way, that 2018 Eagles team, I completely believe that the Eagles have a better roster this year than your Super Bowl champion team in 18. That Patriots team in 17 is pretty good. 2007, I didn't say they're better. Pats. Broncos, you're better, even with Von Miller. That 14 Patriots team was good, you're better. That Seahawks team with Marshawn Lynch, I'm going to put that Seattle 2014 team. That's when they had the Legion of Boom. Russell Wilson was on that team. I'm talking 53-man roster. That Ravens team with Ray Lewis, 2012, and Ed Reed, they were at the end. That wasn't prime Ed Reed and Ray. I'll take you guys. Clearly better than the 11 Giants. Were they better than that Packer team that was 9-7 that year that won the Super Bowl? Yes. That Saints team with Breeze, pretty good. I'll take you guys. That Steeler team in 2009 with Roethlisberger, I'll take you guys. You were better than any Giants team. That 2007 Colts team, I think you were better defensively. Okay, that's 20 years. That's 20 years, and I've got 4 teams I could debate with your roster. The Bucs at 20, the 17 Patriots, the 2014 Seahawks, and that Indianapolis. I'm going to take Indianapolis off that because I think you are better. 3 rosters in 20 years. You could debate the Eagles were better than. 3. 17 Patriots. You know what? I'll do this. I'll take that Bucks team off and go Patriots in Seattle. The 2017 Bucks, 2017 Pats and the 2014 Seattle are the only other teams in the last 20 years you could debate, maybe in the same conversation with the Eagle roster that we just saw 60 plus days ago. And you fucking think you're going to replace that with Joshua Uche. You're high. Your GM and head coach are getting you ready for it. Dude, could the Eagles beat that Patriots 17 team? No. I'm taking Brady over you every day. That Seattle team, yeah, you could beat that 14 Legion of Boom team. My opinion. That'd be a great matchup. That 2014 Seattle team versus the 2024 Eagle team with that secondary back there with Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor. That front four they had going against that O-line. Barkley would be the factor going against that defense. Dude, you got one of the best rosters in the last 20 years, if not the best roster. But you're going to replace that. Where in your mind are you even thinking that? Earl Thomas was on that team. Bobby Wagner. That's a heck of a group. That's a heck of a group. I think Howie surprises us at the draft. I think he's got something up his sleeve. But, man, it was hard to see a few of the guys go. Yeah, because you know why? You had the perfect world. Dude, one thing became evident here with what the Eagles are doing. 26, 27, and 28 are more important to them than 25. Their young players on their team are more important than anything they have right now. That's why they signed these junkyard dogs. How are you not following along with this? Well, our coaches are getting, dude, if you don't have the Jimmies and Joes, I don't give a shit who the painter is. Current Eagles or the 2024 versus these teams. Dude, the current Eagle roster versus those teams, you get mauled. What? Let me guess. With Keely Ringo playing against Tom Brady, you think that 2017 Patriots team is not going to rip you a new one with Keely Ringo playing corner? Tom Brady would have a radar on his hat going, there's Keely Ringo. Sills, if you know what's going to happen in the future, you should pick lottery. Dog, you had the best defense in football. 5 starters were taken off it. Your head coach, your GM, I'm going by their words. Brandon, I didn't make this shit up. They said it. And what Leon is saying here also, you're not even putting this into a factor. The schedule's brutal. 10 playoff teams. And a brand new roster. Or half the roster changed. Especially on defense. No, you're right. And it's funny. I hear McMullen say the same shit I'm saying. I don't get it. He's just echoing the head coach, GM, and owner. That's what I'm doing. I haven't said one thing they haven't said. The core guys are back. What core guys are back that you think are generational guys? You? Sure. Great start. DeJean? Okay. Carter? Okay. Who else is generational in a core? By the way, Zach Bond? Zach Bond had a fabulous season. What a great year. Here, I'll give you Zach Bond, what a great year. I mean, he was good from week 1 to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. He was a really good player this year. Didn't have too many highs, too many lows. He was a solid player. He was, without a doubt, Reed Blankenship is a dude. Okay? Get this. Alex, you guys just answer my questions every time I throw them out. We didn't have generational players. They don't have to be generational. You may not have, but you had a generational defense. You had the unit. Because football's a team sport. Thank you, Alex. Exactly. Wasn't like you had a Michael Parsons on your team. Seals, they beat Brady with Mills and Darby. Stop it, really. Well, once again, Anthony looks at the micro and not the macro in the 6 titles and how good those rosters were and how great Brady was. Brady tore you a new one when he was with the Bucs. I'm not even sure you scored more than 6 points in that game. He ripped you a new one when he was down in Tampa. Come on, dog. Well, we got him. Hey, Tom Brady didn't lose that Super Bowl. Isn't that what you tell me? Hey, Anthony, isn't that what you tell me? That Jalen Hurts didn't lose that Super Bowl in 22? Brady didn't lose that Super Bowl in 18. He threw for 500 yards in that fucking game. So wait, it works for Hurts, but not Brady. Is that right? Oh, okay. Okay. Like I said, and I'll ask one last time before we move on. Angelo Cataldi will be with us. That'll be at the bottom of the hour, 3:30. Guys, give me a total on the likes. I love your super chats here on this Football Monday, Sports Monday. Thank you guys so much, man. I'm going to give you my new Power 5. These are the guys I'm not going to move off of. Get this. This guy sounds like Jeff Kerr. April 14th, sky's falling. No, I'm just asking you a question on April 14th. You guys sound like Jeff Kerr and John. I didn't say that. I asked you on April 14th a question. What have they done outside of Zach Bond to improve your chances of repeating as Super Bowl champions? They didn't keep the defense intact. It's a question. And I'm just echoing the owner, GM, and head coach. I'm not really ripping anybody. Jeff does a fabulous job for us. I enjoy listening to him. John, too. Not ripping anybody. Here. Sills is off with this take. What is off with the take? Get this, acting like Core's generational. That's not what I ever said. You never had generational players outside of Carter on your defense. It was a unit that was the best and number one team because it was a collection that fit perfect. This guy, I don't even know what he's talking about. Honestly, Denny didn't listen to 2 things I'm saying. He's only listening the way I'm saying it. This is what makes him a not informed viewer, because he has an ideology. No matter what I point out, whether it's Vic, the head coach, the GM, or the owner, saying the same shit I'm saying, he don't want to hear it. Get this. Okay, we don't know what it looks like as of today. I'm telling you, there's no way to improve it this year. Only way, actually, you know what? There's only one way to improve it. Is just go out and play. You're not going to improve it in the draft. You're surely not going to improve it in free agency. You may improve it if you make a trade. You may improve it. Hey, get this. Look at Charlie. Hey, Charlie, how was the coaching by Vic Fangio on Bryce Huff? Just asking. Or Devin White. What happened? Do you think the holdovers will be better in year 2? They had limited reps. Sidney Brown had 87 snaps. Keely Ringo had like 100-something snaps. You need to get out there and have him play. Okay? Once again, here's another idiot. This year's draft is not that fucking good. Cooper DeJean would be a top 10 kid today. Trevor Keegan would be a second rounder. Okay, I said Bond. Name me something else that ensures your repeat as champion. What other move have you made to improve the team? I never said Q wasn't good. I said I had questions of a kid coming from Toledo. Get it right, kid. I haven't seen shit from that kid that makes me think he's good. Sills, history will decide if Roseman was right to put all the money on the offensive side of the ball. It's clearly an unbalanced salary cap. The Patriots never had that. That's why they were great every year. And they were in, like I said, do you understand what the Patriots did in 20 years? Tom Brady was in a Super Bowl every other year that he was there. And he didn't get there by himself. He got there because they had a fundamentally sound salary cap. They didn't spend money on offense, and they never spend money on defense. They didn't spend money on anybody. They spent money on the roster. You know, if you probably want to look at it, they probably spent more money on the bottom end of the roster than they did at the top end. Gronk was never the highest paid tight end. They had no receivers in New England. They paid their O-line, and they paid their front seven. That's it. I said that the New England Patriots during that run had a balanced salary cap. Yours is not. You don't spend money on defense. Where? $17 million bond? And who else? Oh, yeah, the guy that bombed. Forgot him. Who else? Who else are you spending money on? I must have missed it. Again, see this here? I'm talking about a championship dynasty. Senor, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't have any idea what conversation you're in. You must be talking to someone else. I don't know who you're talking to. 10 playoffs team scheduled. Eagles lost the most on paper from players to coaches. Lions went 15-2 and half the team on IR. Did lose their 2 coordinators. Okay? Seriously, I have no idea who that guy Senor is talking to. I have no fucking idea. He's got to be talking to somebody else. Okay? I have no idea what he's talking about. Are the Birds setting up to pay Carter? Well, wait a minute, Charlie. That's 26. What are you doing right now to ensure you're repeating in 25? What are you doing? Charlie, that's a 26 conversation. Are the Birds setting up to pay Carter? That's 2026. They're not setting up to pay anybody now. To ensure that you have Vic Fangio rolling around telling people we don't have enough talent on the roster right now. Hey, we lost a lot of players. I'm going to be in Howie's office every day. Those were his words. It's not made up. Get this. So I'm asking you one last time here. Do you believe the Philadelphia Eagles care more? How about this? Yes or no? Do you think they care more about the 2026 team or the 2025 team? On April 14th. Let me see what you guys say to that. What do you think they care more about? The future? The 2016? Or right now? You aren't finished? Answer the question. Who do you think they care more about? Get this, twist. What's a move that ensures the Philadelphia Eagles will show you that they care more about this year signing TJ Watt? Get this. Even the guys this morning. Xander said we didn't even talk about it in our open. Why? Because it's so preposterous to think of signing TJ Watt because he would command $40 million. Well, if you have no interest in trying to make an acquisition for TJ Watt because you got to pay guys in the future, you don't give a shit about 25. And you know what? I wouldn't be saying this if you didn't lose so many dudes. I mean, you're prepared for what? You lost more players off a starting championship team than anybody I've seen in 20 years. Well, running back in 18 didn't work, so maybe Howie wants to try. No, Jessica, Howie's looking at it like this. Over the next 5 years, we may have a 2025 season where we got to reset our cap. And because of players that are going to be on the horizon, because the NFC is not, I think the NFC got better. To what ends, I don't know. I don't know right now on April 14th. Do I still think the Eagles are on the pole seat? Yeah, I do. But you made everybody closer. How about this? Last year you had this is the difference between already. Tell me if you agree. This is the difference between this team this year already, without even playing a game, than last year. If the Kobe Dean goes out, who goes in a year ago? Oren Burks was great. You're saying Trotter. I'm saying he's not ready. We'll see. He didn't really get any playing time a year ago, so I don't know. Maybe he does. If Slay goes out, instead of Isaiah Rodgers going in, you got Keely Ringo in the starting role now at Slay. If Keely Ringo gets hurt, who plays corner? Get this. Let's take this dumbass's take. This guy's a fucking idiot every day. I've never seen a guy with more. I haven't seen a guy with more L's since Dick Train. Do you really believe you're going to improve this team in free agency with anything that's out there at corner, at linebacker, at safety, anywhere? No. Do you really believe that it took you 3 or 4 years to get Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Milton Williams, This dickhead thinks you're going to sign a guy from Ole Miss and he's going to be an immediate superstar at 32. How dumb are you? Oh, wait, from now on, stop Jay Browning me, which means you're a fool. Which means you're a fool. Your rookies showed that they have great leaps in 2 years. Yes, in 2 years, Drew. Correct. Took them 2 years. Yeah. I'm awake, or you. This might not be a show for you then. They don't. Because you know why? They don't want to hear it. I'll ask one last time. Outside of Zach Bond, what have you done to improve your chances of rebeating? What? Setting up the future? This is why we love guys like Jay Brown. And I'm awake, or you. Way to have sand. Hey, Donnie, how come the answer is harder than the simple question? What have you done to make sure you repeat or have a shot at repeating as champions? You're not running anything back. Oh, I can't take it. I know. I haven't taken it for 40 years in broadcasting. You're probably right. You're probably my first experience in broadcasting. I'm not taking it. Yeah. What do you think? I'm Josh Innes? Hank? Or what's his name? Harry? I'm sorry, man. Everyone's getting hit with trap metal here. I don't know. I'm in a good mood, man. So, like, you know what? I now realize what controversy means. You know what being controversial means? Telling the truth. We kept our coaches. You did? I thought your coordinator just went down to New Orleans. Or did you forget that? Didn't your quarterback coach follow too? I missed that. Lamar, that must have been a mirage that Kellen Moore went down to New Orleans. I must have missed that. Seals, by the way, Angelo Cataldi will join us bottom of the hour. Please hit the like button. Give me a total on that if you can. Thanks, guys. Seals, I know it's Eagles, but what other teams have you seen taking steps back who weren't in the hunt last year? Steps back who were in the hunt. 49ers. Dude, here, would I rather be the Eagles than the 49ers? Big time. Would I rather be the Eagles than the Vikings? Big time. Do you know what the Vikings did? They cut the head of their team off. And they're like a chicken running around right now, and they don't know where they're going. No, I can read judo, Sue. Who else? I think the Bears improved. The Rams are never going to take steps back unless they win a Super Bowl. The Rams are always chugging along, looking through the front window and not the rear view. I think Green Bay's kind of in a – here, I'll do it for you. When I look at the NFC, I'll tell you teams that took steps forward and back. You know what, though? Hey, let's be fair here with the Eagles. The Eagles took a step back. They just haven't taken a step back to second place in the NFC. You know what I mean? Dude, you've taken a step back. It's just not in the second place. Buffalo Bills, have they taken a step back? No, they're hanging in the middle there. The Dolphins hanging in the middle. The Jets taking a step back. So you got rid of Aaron Rodgers for Justin Fields? The Patriots taking a step forward. Ravens, kind of there. They need to improve. Colts, I don't know. They're in a Dimes Jones and Anthony Richardson. That's your battle in camp for quarterback? Holy cow. Jacksonville Jags. They've taken a step back. They fired the coaching staff. The Titans suck. They can't go anywhere but up. Chiefs, they take a step back. Chargers, I think they've taken a step up because of the coaching. Broncos, probably a small step forward. Raiders, I don't know. Eagles, step back, but not catastrophic. It's just you made everybody closer to you. Commanders, step up. Cowboys, I guess in health. Hey, I'll say this about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, they have to ace their draft. I mean, if there's a team that has to ace the draft, it's the Cowboys. Green Bay looking at what? Don't want him in the NFC. Wow, you put him on Green Bay. Green Bay, that changes their deal. Chicago, step up. Buccaneers, step up. Falcons, I don't know. Carolina, I think Carolina's going to be a good team eventually. Saints, they just got rid of Carr. Oh, by the way, let me write that thing down too. Third rounder for Tanner McKee. Fuck. Yeah. Rams always taking steps forwards. The Seahawks, you took a step forward with Sam Darnold. Sure, I don't believe it. I think the Cardinals have. You're getting better. 49ers step back. Hey, how many people in here don't believe that you're getting a third rounder for Tanner McKee? Come on. A third rounder for Tanner McKee. Dude, fifth rounder, I'll bend. Third rounder, I don't think so. Okay? Fifth round, sure. Third round, you're high. You missed my super chat. That's how they improve. Hey, Xander, can you put that up for me there, brother? Thank you. I appreciate it. Anthony, thank you, brother. You know, man, I love having conversations with you. Thank you very much. In my opinion, Carter will be better. That's not them improving the team. Nolan will be better. That's not them improving the team. Bond will be better. That's not them improving the team. Dijon, that's not them improving the team when you've lost 5 starters. Where have you? They're going to get better. What about who's playing corner? Who's playing the other linebacker spot? Until Nakobe gets there. Who's playing the 2 ends? What does that have to do with Carter and Nolan Smith? By the way, who's playing in front of Nolan Smith? I know you guys think that Milton Williams and Josh Sweat suck. But Nolan Smith played behind them guys. You're only as good as the people in front of you. That's the quarterback for the Eagles. That's Saquon Barkley. But not the Philadelphia Eagle defense. Josh Sweat and Milton Williams suck. And Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt and all those guys who had up-and-coming years did not benefit from having – they didn't play in front or behind Jalen Carter. They played on the edge where Josh Sweat and Milton Williams played. We'll be competitive. Absolutely. Another year in the Vic system. Nobody's saying that those players are not going to improve. By the way, we're guessing Bond will get better. We're assuming it. At 29, he'll be better. Okay. Hey, he's never been in that role. I don't know. On April 14th, he's never had 2 years in a row, and he's never been a consistent linebacker in this league. I don't know. Am I saying it's a bad sign? No. It'll be a bad sign if that guy farts an egg this year and he ends up turning into shit. Then it's a bad sign. And it's a James Bradbury contract. Hey, Zach Bone's either going to be a Grand Slam or he's going to be James Bradbury. We just don't know yet. And for you to go like, and I don't either. So are you saying he's going to be James Bradbury? No. I just don't know. He's never had 2 years in a row in his entire career. He's never played 2 years in a row in this league in 6 years. Man, you must be horrible, man, when you got to sit there and tell somebody the truth. This guy right here, you know what? He's a total Democrat. Guy loves to be lied to. Kidding. Yeah. We lost Hargrave and everybody melted down. Nobody melted down. I never thought he was a good player against the run. I never thought he was good on the run. I thought he was a good pass rusher. I never thought he was a good player against the run. I said he's suspect at best. I've said that and been consistent about Javon Hargrave his entire career, even when he was in Pittsburgh. He was never a good run stopper. We lost CJ and everybody melted down. Your whole team melted down. We lost CJ. Wait a minute. Here's this right here, Sam, is the prime example of Sam not knowing what he's saying. We lost CJ and everybody melted down. The 2023 team did melt down. They did melt down. You think there's any coincidence? You think there's any coincidence whatsoever that every year Gardner Johnson was a Philadelphia Eagle? Every year he was an Eagle. Every year they went to the Super Bowl and that guy had 12 picks. They had an epic collapse. And Sam's trying to tell you everyone had a meltdown when Gardner Johnson left. Well, your whole team did. No meltdowns with Vic. Okay. Dan, ever notice how guys that leave have a fortune in free agency? It's tough, but I think it's a good thing. It is. But here, I've got a great topic for you guys. And I'm gonna throw this at you before Angelo joins us. Do I think every single one of those free agents are going to struggle in other places? Yeah. You know why? Look at the teams they're going to. You're in a complete rebuild in New England. Milton Williams is going to be asked to do an awful lot with even less than he's ever been around in his entire career. You think that guy's going to have the impact around coaching, an environment, a roster, an offense that he has in New England? Hell no. Josh Sweat with the Bidwells? Hey, Josh, way to go. You got your bag of money. Phenomenal. Josh Sweat having an impact? Josh Sweat may have an impact out there in Carolina, but he's going to be on a horrible roster. You know why? The Bidwells don't know anything of what they're doing. I'll ask you one last time before I get Angelo on. What have they done to improve the 25 team? And I'll say this. What is more important to Howie Roseman, the 2026 team or the 25 team? It's the 26 team. They were at the owners' meetings doing this. We got to pay young guys. We got guys in the future. We can't keep everyone. You're talking about the future. You're not talking about 25. Come on, man. It's like taking 5 spark plugs out of your engine. Hey, my engine's just as good. I'm going to put these lesser spark plugs in, and we're going to have the same Ferrari engine. You know what you got right now? You got a Ferrari body and a Yugo engine, especially on that defense. Hey, I can't. You know what? I wasn't going to start my show off with this, but so I listened to Daryl Lyre today, and I don't know what this guy was talking about. I mean, I swear to God, you know that Shane Pierre girl who used to do like the Biden, the pressers, and she's up there, and you're going like, I don't know what you're talking about. So when Daryl Morey was going, we're going to make an assessment, and, we owe it to the fans. I thought he was apologizing for his being shitty as a GM. And for the head coach, I mean, I didn't know what. And so then I went over to, make sure you read Angelo's blog here. Joshua Harris is a terrible owner. I don't think you could be more to the point than that. I mean, make sure you check it out. So I'm listening to Daryl Morey. He's like, I could have swore I heard, hey, I'm really sorry for being a sorry-ass general manager and bringing in guys like the crippled player we brought in from the Clippers. I was kind of hoping we would rub his little leg and he'd be okay. And he didn't look like Father Time. Joel Embiid, the paper mache guy. I mean, that's like a stick man. I mean, wow. So let's bring on our friend. I read that thing, man. Angelo Cataldi he held nothing back on Joshua Harris. I was listening to today. With that press conference that Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Sixers, had, I mean, he apologized.
I guess you could say that. First of all, I got to just say that the last 2 minutes while I've been watching you in your green room here, that's more criticism of Philadelphia sports teams than I have heard in 2 months in Philadelphia. Do you understand that? And I'm moving Marcus Hayes aside because Marcus will still take some shots. But the rest of these people, they Joshua Harris, they just completed. Keith Pompey of the Inquirer, very good writer, said it's the worst season in the history of the franchise. Okay? And I'm going, great. Now we're going to stop blaming people. That's what we do in Philly. We blame people. No, Joshua Harris' name doesn't even come up. They have this train wreck of a season. Where's he? Where's the owner? Does he ever held accountable? Do you understand? You got to understand this about Philadelphia history. Harold Katz, another really bad owner, but he won a championship in 1983. Harold Katz, when he sold the team, said, couldn't take the negative stuff from the Philadelphia media anymore, which I took as a badge of honor. We got a rotten owner, and we got him the hell out of here. We yelled him right off the stage, all right? There is zero chance that will ever happen again in Philadelphia because we have been overrun by pussies. Pussies running everywhere. We need an exterminator. Get rid of all the pussy. They're everywhere. This guy he's 34 games under 500. And nobody's taking a shot. No, even Rory, who comes across as an absolute imbecile, right?
Man.
Total imbecile. Nobody's taking shots at Rory. You do this in Philadelphia. Where is the Philadelphia media that made me move from my hometown 40 years ago? Where the hell did these people go? Everybody's afraid now. Oh, I don't want to make enemies in the Sixers organization. You need to make enemies. That's journalism. It's called holding people accountable. And what I did in the Harris piece was old school. That's the way it was done.
Yes, sir.
That's the way it was done. And the week before, I did a very strong analysis of Lurie, not just telling you how great he is because he won a second Super Bowl, but telling you why I still don't like him and won't ever like him. I think he's just really a pompous, self-congratulatory billionaire who makes no contact with the actual fans. But the Harris thing is next level. Harris, at the end, when I finally wrote this, and I was building up Steve, putting all these facts together, it's all facts, all right? It's all facts. There's nothing in there you can contest. It's all things he said or things he did. And at the end of it, I realized, well, I now know the truth. This is the worst owner in Philadelphia sports history. And then I congratulated him.
$400 million you pointed out, investments for 24 wins.
Right. And they're going to roll that back around. Let's bring that back around. Let's see if this is the year Paul George can play 50 games. Let's see if this is the year Joel Embiid doesn't have 10 problems before the opening game. I mean, come on. It's over, you know. You got to know when to fold them. This team is a disaster.
Has he, again, I mean, I guess since Croce, that you guys had a competent owner in the building probably since then, since Pat, right?
Croce was the last one. See, Comcast owned them for a while, and they own the Flyers, and they're just, a corporation can't own a team.
No.
It just doesn't work. All right? It won't work. It will never work.
The Yankees were owned by CBS for those decades, and they ran it into the ground. And then Steinbrenner bought it and then turned it around.
Right. And then his son took over, and now they stink again.
That's right.
Now they haven't won a thing since the old man died. All right. This is called the next generation syndrome. The son never knows what the hell the father did, and so bungles it. We'll get to see that when Jeff Lurie hands it off to his son. That's coming with the Eagles in the next few years. But Joshua Harris, he embodies all the wrong things about being an owner. He comes out when he buys a team, the Sixers, and he goes, let me tell you, I have a full, total commitment to this team. This is all I care about. We're going to build a champion.
Is he the process guy?
Well, yeah. Then 2 years later, they started the process, which was, told you the whole first thing he said was total bull crap. All right. But on top of that, 2 years after he's given full attention, I don't care about my hedge fund. I don't care about anything. I want this team to win because I went to Penn. I got a connection here. And then 2 years later, he bought the Devils. Then 2 years ago, he bought the Commanders. So where's that commitment? And meanwhile, he just kept making more money. The Sixers are worth 4 times what they were when he bought them 14
Angelo,
years.
I never realized the Philadelphia sports fans, if you went to Wharton, that mattered.
When he went to North Jersey, he had a connection there. Then, his beloved Washington. He had the same bull crap rolled out every time he had a new news conference after he bought a team. The only reason he bought the team was to make money. It's idiot-proof. You buy a sports franchise, it goes up in value 4 times more. The Sixers 14 years later than what he paid for them. It works every time.
In 30 years. Worst team in 30 years.
Because they were supposed to contend. And then the last 2 months there, in the ultimate insult to Philadelphia. In the last 2 months, they became the process again. And they tried to lose. Because they didn't want to lose the 6th. Right now they have a contingency trade, and they want to still keep their, they want to keep this top 6 pick. So they had to be so bad that they had a shot to do that in the lottery. And they tanked 4 years, and then they had to tank again at the point in the development here where those great players they were supposedly going to get in the draft would be the core of a great team. No, they won, 20, whatever the hell they won. It was awful. And
24 and 58.
Freaking wins.
24 and 58. 24 and 58. Worse.
I mean, you know what? If Daryl Morey had any sense for the city, he would have come out for his news conference with a bag on his head.
He would have resigned.
And my question would have been, where the hell's the owner? because he's the guy that kept you morons back in charge for another year. We're going to get another year of Daryl Morey. We're going to get another year of Nick Nurse. We're going to get another year of Elton Brand back in there somewhere. All these guys are coming back to blow another season next year. Where's the owner? I want to tell the owner what I think of his great leadership.
Man, you're going to give that guy an arena too, which is really insane. I mean, I don't get
he
it.
played that one, Danny.
Of course he did.
That one. He suckered the mayor, Sherelle Parker. And she had to endorse the Chinatown plan. He's going to build this $2 billion palace in Chinatown, right? There were no streets.
No
anywhere.
parking.
There was
no parking.
To park, nowhere to get out of the city. It made no sense. It would have completely destroyed the culture of Chinatown, which has been there forever. And he never was doing it. You understand?
He didn't care.
He was just playing off that project and Camden. He had Camden kissing his ass too, just so he could fleece some more money out of Comcast to go back to the sports and for years, those people in Chinatown were going nuts. This guy's going to ruin our neighborhood. He wasn't going. It's all bull. The guy is just a sham. You understand? And on top of all that, he's worth $11.2 billion.
Man.
And it's not enough, Dan. He's got to get the next great deal because the only scoreboard in Jaguar Harris's life is his big book. This is legacy. It's all that matters. Nothing else matters. He hasn't had a winner anywhere.
That's right. Not even the Devils. That's correct. The Devils haven't even been good.
This is the third year they're in the playoffs in 12 years. Everybody makes the playoffs in the NHL.
No, I mean, when Lou Lamoriello ran that team back in the day and they won those 3 Stanley Cups, they were fabulous. They were fabulously owned. Now, since he's owned it, how do you not make the NHL playoffs? You know you are in trouble when you're an organization. Again, you know, the one thing about what'd you make of Tortorella's firing?
Well, here's the thing with Tortorella. It was a mercy killing at the end. He wanted out.
He wanted out.
He wanted out. And the reason he wanted out, in my estimation, and this will not please my former co-host Keith Jones, is that he realized that Danny Briere, who is running the Flyers, it has no clue as to how to run a franchise.
That's right.
And the only reason he's there is it's the old mode of bringing back another former Flyer and putting him in charge. He hasn't shown anything. He hasn't shown a thing in the 2 years that Keith Jones has been the president. And Josie, if Jonesy were really dynamic, and I know him, he's not. He's just such a great guy. He'd fire Briere and bring in a guy who's done it.
That's right.
A guy who's done it. A real roster creator. But he can't. So the problem with all of the Joshua Harris teams, he doesn't put the right people in charge. And he doesn't because he doesn't know anything about the sport of the team he owns.
You think that's why Rory does the right thing and gets winners because he does in many places, puts the right guys in right places?
Rory won the lottery with Howie Roseman. And he was smart enough, and I'll give the owner credit for this. He's smart enough to know that he had a good guy making the decisions about his roster, except for that period where Chip Kelly took over. And I guess he had a gun at his head for that year. Kelly said, I'm the man. I invented football. Look how brilliant I am. Now I need to run the organization. Then you traded LaShawn McCoy. Everything fell apart. We realized he didn't know crap. Right? He was full of it. But I don't think Lurie has not demonstrated to me that he really knows all that much either. He's dangerous in the fact that he thinks he does now. But listen to him talk. Just listen. Force yourself to listen for half an hour of some media session he has. And he will tell you these brilliant management things that he had that are so obvious. Like, I am obsessed with winning. My obsession is winning. And I am diligent to make sure I surround myself with the finest people. It's all crap, right? He's out buying yachts, right? He's not Howie.
So you think it's Howie? It's Howie.
It is Howie. It's definitely hard. But what you were saying a few minutes ago is right too. Howie now, for whatever reason, and I can't give you a good one, publicly he said he doesn't want to do it the way he did it after they won in 17. So he's going to pull back on the roster spending. He's still got a ton of money under the cap, and he's going to weaken the franchise. And that's what they did. This is not as good a team.
Angelo, I was just going to ask
not as
you,
good a team.
Don't you agree? They care more about the 2026 season than they do about the 2025 roster. I mean, outside of the Bond extension, name me something that they've done where you went, okay, 60 some odd days ago, you had the number one defense in the NFL. You allowed 5 starters to go off that football team. Where have you improved? Just because you signed a bunch of guys, don't mean you signed good guys.
Right.
I mean, I don't see listen to what he said at the owners' meetings. Hey, look, it's not going to be the same. That's Howie. The owner goes, this is one of the best teams we ever had, and maybe the greatest team we ever had. Where have you put yourself back in that conversation where you're going to repeat? It's about the future contracts we have to sign. I mean, do you think this team takes a step back this year?
Oh, without again,
I agree.
Whenever I find myself projecting the next year, I remember what an idiot I sounded like here a year ago. They've already taken a major step back. You understand? They've already taken that step back. They're not as good. They're not even close to being as good as they were. They left. Vic Fangio was doing an interview at a Phillies game a couple of weeks ago. And they went, Vic, great job. An amazing thing that you did. Wow, you put that. What do you think now? And he went, wow, we lost 5 starters and 7 key players on defense. Then he took like a pause. He realized, well, I can't tell the total truth here. Yeah, I work for Lurie and Roseman. He went, we'll find a way. Like, I hope we'll find a way. You know, like, no, you won't find a way. That's half your defense. That's half your defense is gone from a Super Bowl team. Who's going to play those positions? Where are you going to get the leadership that Brandon Graham brought? No, I don't think, look, Dan, I'm probably wrong again. Who knows? The over-under is 11.5 wins.
No way.
I'm not giving you a number, but I'll say take the under because that schedule is murderous. It's not like last year. And because that defense was the power of that team in the biggest games, and that defense is not there now. And Vic Fangio is not a miracle worker. He's not going to be able to do it. And they're going to bring kids in, but that takes a while. They don't just come in and
Angelo, I tried telling people this. How long did it take Dean to come around? 2 years. How long did it take Nolan Smith? 2 years. How long did it take Milton Williams? 3 years. You really think you're going to find in a weak draft a guy at 32 that's going to change your fortunes around? I don't buy it, man. I don't see it.
I don't either.
I got the Commanders winning the East this year. I'm going to say it. I got the Commanders winning the East because you could say whatever you want about Laramie Tunsil and adding Debo. They added good players. The Eagles lost good players.
They did. And they did it with purpose. They said they were going to lose those players because they didn't want to max out their cap, which no team in sports has been better at managing a cap than the Eagles have. Because, all right, they're 18 million under, but let's redo a couple of veteran deals. Now we got more money where they didn't play. They decided, they made a conscious decision after they won the Super Bowl not to do that or not to even do half of it because they did it after 17 and they got burned. So they said, well, we're not going to do it this time. We're going to do it the opposite way. Well, the opposite way is not going to work. It's not going to work. They don't have enough good talent on the defense now.
Angelo, who do you I watched that video with you and Howard. And this Andy Reid thing is always really interesting, especially for you. First, before I get to that, you and Howard went over, because Howard he was on a couple weeks ago, and he loves Andy Reid. But who do you think is more full of shit, Nick or Andy?
Andy. Did I need time to think it over?
No.
Because I don't think there's the human in the world today that would beat Andy and being completely, just totally full of it. And nothing that comes out of Andy's mouth has any relevance to reality. It's all simply protecting his players, protecting his franchise. What's he doing this for? He has no interest in providing any actual information when he's speaking to the media or to the public. How do I know this? 14 years. I saw it for 14 years. And if you can't figure out a guy's MO in 14 years, look around. Somebody's a moron. It's probably you.
Okay, I gotta ask. It's April 14th, and we're coming up on taxes here, and I still haven't seen this phantom deal supposedly for Nick. I don't know, man. I mean, I hear people get this. People are so snowed, and because of February 9th, that Super Bowl, they're telling me how great this guy is, and I'm sorry, I think he's a cheerleader. And they say he should be the highest paid coach in pro football.
No, he doesn't do the offense anymore. He's never done the defense. He doesn't do special teams. He calls himself a CEO. He makes an ass of himself on the sideline. His press conferences are horrible, uniformly awful. Yeah, his team's winning. Can I fully explain that? Not really. Theories, but it'll be fascinating. If the extension is for anything less than 3 years, they're telling you they don't believe him either. All right?
I think if it's less than 5 years, they're telling you something.
All right. Well, if it's 5 years, then there's a term for that. John Middleton gave it to us a few years ago. It's called stupid money. All right. I hope I'm around at the end of those 5 years, because I guarantee you I will be here longer than Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni.
They pay him $17-18 million a year.
No, they just.
I don't either.
Didn't they just say they're like on this kick of saving money this offseason if they won a Super Bowl? They're going to give it to Nick. They know Nick. Look, again, if you talk to somebody long enough, you can figure out whether or not they got what it takes. I got to talk to Nick a lot, 3 years after every single game. And I could tell you something. He ain't worth 17 million. He ain't worth 7. All right. I don't know what he's going to get, but whatever it is, they will rue the day. He's got 2-3 more years left before next year they have a middling season, 10-7, whatever. And then the following year, and then they're going to go, well, you know what?
He's the most replaceable guy in that organization.
Oh, he is. Without a doubt, he is. Would you rather do a poll? Who would you rather have? The head coach, Nick Sirianni, or the offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland? I guarantee you, Dan, 70% will say keep the offensive line coach, get rid of the head coach. It's
a great poll question that you go, if it came down to Jeff Stoutland leaving and going somewhere else or keeping Nick, who do you think the city of Philadelphia or even Vic Fangio now?
The city of Philadelphia that loves the big guys in the middle of the line wouldn't even be close. They know he's a babbling idiot. They've seen him on the sideline. He had a game where he started to lecture the fans in Philadelphia at an Eagles game on how to behave, how you should not be booing. No, you don't boo here. What the hell's wrong with you? It's Philadelphia. Do you understand? Generation upon generation in our city has been trained to boo when they see something they hate. Now we got this guy from upstate New York here telling us how to act. Really? This is going to work?
He's from Canada. He ain't from upstate.
Whatever he's from. The word I use when I think of him. Stunad. Stunad.
Hey, Angelo, a couple last ones here for you. Listen, I said this after the first week, and of course, after they won the opening April series with the Dodgers, they won the World Series of April. And I said this about the Phillies. I go, I guarantee you by the end of the year, they fire Rob Thompson. And everyone goes, oh, you're nuts. I go, you don't have a bullpen. Your starters, one of them, in my opinion, can't be relied on. And your hitting and your lineup is so inconsistent. They're like this, Angelo. They're as hot as ever, but they get as cold as ever. And you know this. One of the reasons that the Braves have always been great, what do? John, they've always invested in arms. They've always made sure it was defense and arms, and that's the one thing the Phillies haven't done, and they don't have a bullpen. I think they're going to be very disappointed again at the end of the year. How do you see them?
They have a good rotation. I will say that, although Nola is really vastly overpaid, but Luzardo has looked pretty good. What's sad to me is that they are really squandering year after year of a great career by Bryce Harper. That guy is really a hell of a player, and he's great in the clutch, and he's great in the locker room, and he is one of the few $300 million players you'll ever see who's worth the money. And year after year, they have ruined it by robotic decisions by the head coach, by the manager. Rob Thompson, maybe the least creative manager I've ever seen. You can predict every single thing he does, every minute of every game. He never goes outside. The man has lived his life in baseball, Dan, and he never trusts his gut. Never. He always does exactly what the numbers say to do, and every time he gets burned. He blew last season when he took Wheeler out after 7 innings in the first playoff game. He blew it. That story has not yet been covered in Philadelphia, but I keep bringing it up because someday people will realize that's what's happened, and he will blow this season too because he's not good at manipulating a bullpen.
No.
He doesn't have much of a bench to work with, and he's got some guys at Marsh. Marsh is not. I don't know why he keeps getting rolled out there every day. Bohm's having a terrible start for this season. And yeah, you're right. They're not, look, they beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. And I would bet my house that if they played them in a meaningful series in the playoffs, that the Dodgers would swamp them. That's just I look at the Dodgers and I went, wow, Dodgers is so much better than the Phillies. It's not even a contest. No, they're not going to do it again this year. And I assume you're right that Thompson will finally be, put out of his misery because
here's an example. I mean, go back last year in the playoffs with the Dodgers and what Dave Roberts did. Dave Roberts ran out of arms, but he manipulated that coaching staff, and then he manipulated the pitching staff for them to find innings and how they needed to get guys out there. He had a gut feeling, as you said. He went with the gut feeling. I know Dave very well when he was with Bud Black with the Padres. He was his bench coach, and I used to talk to him. He goes, hey, man, because I guess that maybe is him being a former player out there too and letting players and having more of a gut feeling. But Dave let that and found innings with that staff, and that's what ended up winning, in my opinion, the World Series for the Dodgers a year ago. Is because he went with gut, and that's the one thing Rob Thompson doesn't have. Exactly right.
100%. Dave Roberts is one of the smartest people I've ever seen in sports. That he lost all his starting pitchers. He had one guy left. And he went, all right, we'll use openers. We'll start with the bullpen. They'll have a guy go 4 or 5 in the middle. And he manipulated it brilliantly. And he won a championship doing that. Do you think Rob Thompson could ever do that?
Never. No way.
Years. He'd be looking down at the computer. What am I supposed to do now? What did the analytics guys say? I don't know what to do. There's a reason why he was almost 60 when he finally got a job as a manager, because he's not managerial material. He doesn't have enough confidence in his own knowledge of the game. And you see it if you watch it every day. And I'm dumb enough. I don't have anything going on right now. I'm retired. I watch all these games. And I always end up getting frustrated because I see everything's so predictable, and you just know in the end he's going to just blow it. And he will. He's not a good manager.
I think the Dodgers with Andrew Friedman, their general manager, it's almost like the setup that the Eagles have, where you got a really good general manager. The difference here is that you got an outstanding manager with Dave Roberts. And I just think that Nick is kind of a go-along, get-along guy. But Andrew Friedman cut his chops when he was with the Rays and learned how to be economical. But also when he got the open checkbook with the Dodgers, he built the farm system. Everyone wants to play in Los Angeles. I mean, it's a perfect dynamic. I think Dave Dombrowski has really underachieved as a general manager in Philadelphia, more so than what he did in Detroit. And when he was down with Larry Beinfest, down with the Marlins, probably up there in Boston, he did a nice job. But he's underachieved, I think, in Philly.
Well, he hasn't won the championship, so you're right. That's the only way to define it. If you bring a guy in, take him out of retirement. He was done. And bring him here and say, here, open checkbook. John Middleton is a good owner. I'll tell you that right now. John Middleton will give you the wherewithal. He will give you the money to get the best players you can get. But no, there's not. It's not there. And you're right. And look, if Dombrowski's on the West Coast and he could create the Japanese All-Star team the way the Dodgers have, if he had the geographical advantage of getting these great Japanese players, then maybe, you could say it's right now. At some point, Major League Baseball is going to have to look at that and go, well, if every great Japanese player wants to play in LA, how are we going to give the teams in the rest of the country a chance to compete? Because right now, those kids, even Sasaki, who has not shown everything he's got yet, he's fantastic.
They're going to play. They're either going to play with the Dodgers, the Mariners, or they're going to play with the Padres. And you're right. Or even so much with the Angels. They're just going to stay on the West Coast because there's not. They haven't really migrated into like Central and over into the East.
Right.
It's a great take, Angelo. That's right.
Meanwhile, we spent $200 million to bring Aaron Nola back for another 4 years or 5 years or whatever the hell. And I don't see where they love him. I don't see it. You should see the emails I get on him. He's a lightning rod of criticism and the people that are still left in Philly. There's about 7 of them now who still remain critical of their sports teams.
Let me throw over 14 years as an owner. The Sixers have finished. This is off. Go to Angelo Cataldi's blog. Here's just a line for you. Over his 14 years as owner, I didn't realize it was that long since Howard Katz. They have finished first in the conference once and have never made it to the conference finals. They have a comprised record, regular season, under Harris of 115 and 571, 56 miserable games, under 500, and you add in the legendary names of Ben Simmons and now Paul George into that mix, and softest tissue Joel Embiid into that whole thing. I mean, I'm going to start calling him the tissue man.
Yes, he is. He's made out of
3 more years of $60 million.
Right, but it was important to get those extra. Give him extra years after the Olympic Games. After the Olympic Games, we showed up out of shape, beat up. His knee was all swollen, but he got a gold medal. And frankly, they would have won it with or without him. He didn't even do that much for the U.S. team, but he had to get his gold medal. One of the selfish players and softest players we've ever seen in this town. That's another criticism you'll never hear in Philadelphia anymore. We don't do those things.
He's terrible, man. I mean, God, every time you mention the names Malone and Wilt, I don't see that, man. I mean, I don't even. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, the Iverson teams were tougher. The Iverson teams were. Angelo, great stuff. Make sure you guys check out Angelo's blog. Joshua Harris is a terrible owner. I mean, hey.
I don't hedge stuff. It's at AngeloCataldi.com. Just click on blogs. There's lots of old school journalism on there. The way columns used to be written. Yeah. No one does it anymore.
No. Get this. Joshua Harris is a terrible owner. Hedge fund owner. No hedging. Angelo Cataldi. My friend, thank you so much as always for doing this.
Anytime.
You bet. That is our good friend, Angelo Cataldi. Man, he hates Andy Reid. He does. God, it feels good, to know that the greatest sports talk host has so much in common with Big Sales. How you doing, man? Yeah. Angelo, hey, man, how you doing? Angelo hates everyone and everything. Look at, hey, get this. See, that's the new Philadelphia media talking right there. That's the new media. Hold on. That's new media right there. That's the new kids. Hey, everything's not that bad. Nick's great. Nick Sirianni's a freaking cheerleader. Yeah. This guy needs pom-poms, man. That ain't a head coach. And he's going to get $17 million a year for being a pom-pom guy. Hey, he won the Super Bowl, Sales. He's the most replaceable guy in that building. Angelo's right. Howie's the guy. How about this? Could you here? So wait a minute. Let me get this right. Again with Xander too. Hey, by the way, Xander. 4:30. Gary Cobb is coming aboard. Xander, can you do 5 at the top for a couple minutes? Got to have Xander on here, man. Love Xander's segment. Gary Cobb at 4:30. So, Xander, I hope you could do the 5. Dude, let me say this once again here. You guys think you can replace Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, right? You guys think you can replace them? And no problem. Do you think Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie could replace Nick and you'd be the same team? Do you? Do you believe you could lose Nick? If you lost Nick Sirianni, would you still be with a Super Bowl window open? Yes or no? Do you? I do. If you lose Howie, I don't. If you lose Nick, I still think you're great. How about this? Who would you rather have? Nick Sirianni or Jeff Stoutland on your coaching staff? Who would you rather have? Vic Fangio or Nick Sirianni on your coaching staff? What happened to Peterson? I don't know. You guys won. Same with Andy. Shit, you won even with Chip. Okay, so the coordinator and the O-line coach are more important than the head coach. Hey, that's a great poll question. If the Eagles had to choose between Jeff Stoutland or Vic Fangio, and you had to get rid of Nick, who would Eagle fans and Eagle sports fans want to get rid of? So you're going to pay a guy $17 million who you keep the O-line around and the O-line coach around, and the O-line coach makes $3 million. The O-line coach makes $3 million a year, but you're going to pay a guy $18 million, and the O-line coach is more valuable. Okay. That doesn't even add up right. I mean, that doesn't even add up. The answer is obvious, but fortunately, we don't have to. That's not my point. Mike Tomlin's the most important coach in Pittsburgh. Andy Reid's the most important coach, and they got Spags in Kansas City. John Harbaugh is the most important coach in Baltimore because he hires everybody. Same with Tomlin. They hire. They pick players. Name it Sean McVay. Okay? The Rams aren't the same. Nick Sirianni's the most replaceable guy in the building. Nick's a great coach. He's a great coach. He's a great cheerleader. Man, I love Angelo. Reality talks once again. Okay? Absolutely. What has Mike done lately? Okay, it's a great question. Hey, Kyle, what was that quarterback's name? that they made it to the playoffs. What was his name? Rudolph. Mason Rudolph. Mike Tomlin made it to the playoffs with a quarterback named Mason Rudolph. Do you think that Nick Sirianni is making it to the playoffs with Mason Rudolph as his starting quarterback? Mason Rudolph. Is that his name? Look at this here. Nick is better than Tomlin right now. Sorry, bud. Nick Sirianni's a better coach than Mike Tomlin. The problem with the Steelers, I told you the other day, the problem with the Steelers, they didn't have a good transition program after Roethlisberger, and they're struggling at the quarterback position. They stuck too long with him. This guy, Daz, I'm sorry, dude. I'm going to have to put you in a timeout, and I'm not really going to debate you thinking that Nick Sirianni is a better head coach than Mike Tomlin. I'm just not debating that. I mean, no football person in his right gourd would say that. Nick makes the adjustments and gets himself a real quarterback. Nick makes the adjustments. Nick makes no adjustments. The coordinators prove it to you. You had Brian Johnson, didn't work. You had Kellen Moore, it worked. That guy goes by the assistant coaches and their success. His success is based on the hiring of Howie Roseman and the owner. That's what his success is based on. And to those guys' credit, they've been right. Nick gets the right players. See, this guy's just fucking with you now. He knows better. He makes no decisions on personnel. He runs nothing. You know what he runs? He runs the soup kitchen in the parking lot. Park here. Jalen, that's your spot. He puts he gets the paint and he paints it. Jalen's spot. Sills, what do you think about the Watt rumors? Great. That's what I think about him. Jeff Kerr hates him. John McMullen says to shut up. I love him. Oh, I love them. I think they're great. I think they're wonderful. I do. I think they're great. Shit, TJ Watt's telling you what's out. The Steelers are probably trying to trade him to the NFC. Sills, either head coaches don't matter at all, or Nick is a better or is a good head coach. What are you asking? Jeff Kerr's not a dummy. Jeff Kerr does great stuff. Okay? Does great stuff. Sills, you're wrong. Sirianni makes adjustments to how he's called. You're right. I'm sorry, man. My bad. Tomlin hasn't done anything since the Stone Age. Get out of here with Tomlin being some amazing coach. Yeah, get out of here that Nick's some fucking amazing coach. The Eagles have drafted well. You guys say it every day. They've hired some really good people in the front office and also in the coaching staff. Look at that coaching staff that you have on defense. Look at your O-line coach. Your head coaches, I don't know. I mean, you've changed more head coaches out in the last 25 years that have all had winners than any winning program in NFL history. Andy Reid's going to the Hall of Fame. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, had a winning record. Chip had a winning record. He's now the OC again with the Raiders, won a national title. And Nick with the best win percentage. You think that win percentage is more of a reflection of Howie or Nick? Just curious. That win percentage in the 2 NFC title games. What do you think that's more reflection on? Just see where you guys are. How? Who do you think that's a reflection on? Who's there winning right now? More of a reflection. Howie or Nick? Seals the parking sports director. He's actually also Big Dom. Let's see here. It's a good thing. I like it, man. Dumb conversation? Really? Well, if you're going to pay a guy $17 million, dickhead, I'd want to know what I'm paying for. So to me, either the general manager's worth more money or the head coach is worth more money. Why? You do that shit, Smitty, to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick all the time. Who was more important in New England, Brady or Belichick? You know, it's not a dumb conversation. It's above your head. So you might want to sit it out, kid. G.A. Sills, do you think Roseman could manipulate the salary if it was a way to give a couple of draft picks for Watt? I think Howie is capable of anything. I really do. I think Howie's capable of anything. Frank Reich does. Frank loves him. Okay, you do. Nick is great. Okay, Ziggy. Nick is great. All right, here. Hey, we're going to try to catch up with my boy G Cobb. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Xander, I hope, will join us. We'll get his thoughts in there. By the way, please hit the like button. Give me a total. Xander, you got G Cobb's info, right, for 4:30. We'll get Xander at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll get his take in here on it. Oh, by the way, where's that list? Here it is. Great job, brother. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Big Z. Dude, I love Xander in his comments. He does very well on the show here. So Nico Emiliuva, the quarterback at Tennessee. Emilieva, I think it is. Nico Emilieva was asking for $4 million on his deal to stay at Tennessee. Kudos. It's about time. You know what I hear people doing? College football is ruined. College football has been ruined forever. Do you know what nil means? Now it's legal. I've been saying this since day one. Not everybody can win a national championship. Not everyone will. Not everyone will have the ability to. Now, they're going to pare it down to about 50 schools, like they should have 100 years ago. Well, still, college sports has been professional sports for 40 years. You know why? The coaches. You see Brian Kelly crying about nil? Well, you're going to get more of this. How about when you left those kids, when you were coaching Cincinnati, and you're getting ready for the Sugar Bowl, you looked at those kids and you promised their parents that you were going to be their dad away from home. And then when Notre Dame came calling, you fucking jumped the ship, went right to South Bend, didn't give a shit about those kids at University of Cincinnati. I see. It's okay for the coaches to do that shit. But when now a kid gets the justice to do it because you made money off my name and my likeness, let me ask you this. Who do you think was more valuable to the Gator program? Tim Tebow or Urban Meyer? Who sold more gear? Urban Meyer or Tim Tebow? Come on. College sports is ruined. No, you're defining college sports more from the haves and the have-nots. Temple University should not have a football program. Plain and simple. If you want to really make it where Temple is a competitive team, spend the money. Try to join a conference. They don't give a shit. Temple should not have a college football program. It should be club. Why? You're just wasting money. The Temple football program takes the what bit of money they have, throws it in a trash can, lights it on fire, and the trash can is called the League of Being Irrelevant. They're irrelevant. Why do you care? I don't. I don't want to see Temple play for the national title. I want to see Alabama, Miami, Tennessee, Ohio State, Clemson. You know why? That's who's been doing it the last 20 years. Everything college sports with nil is wrong. Why? Because kids are getting money finally? You've been using those kids as cheap labor for over 200 years. Now they get the chance to make some money. There's a problem. Love it. Love it. By the way, this kid, he's really not that good. He's okay. Better get your money now, son, because you ain't an NFL player. You barely win at Tennessee. We get to the playoff. Great. They'll find another guy. Go get your money. Let me say this to you one more time before I get JAKIB up here. I love the fact that kids are now in college sports making money. Let me tell you this. When Gary and I played, nil meant, okay, no, nil means now. Now it's legal. I'm going to say, now it's legal. Boy, so when Gary Cobb played at Southern Cal and I played at UM, Michael Irvin, Jerome Brown, Alonzo Highsmith, Cortez Kennedy, Russell Bryant McKinney, all these guys, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. I'm naming a team like SC used to be when Gary played there. Let me say this to you. If Gary Cobb and that football team that he won a national title with back in the day had a salary cap, that team would rival the Eagles. You couldn't pay for that old line. You know what his running backs were? They were Charles White and Marcus Allen. These are two Heisman Trophy winners. I played against by Charles White when he was with the Rams. That old line had Anthony Munoz on it. Oh my God. Shit, Gary Cobb would have a place. He would have a pizza place in South LA on every single street outside of where the University of Southern California is. By the way, I never got this one thing before I get JAKIB up. I went on a recruiting trip because Gary Cobb, right here, Stanford, right here tonight. I went on a recruiting trip, right? Why you guys got a big old screen? That's Watsill's on the other side. Some guy named McGee, who was the AD back then, he goes like this. Yeah, that's Watts on the other side. We want to keep USC in the room here. Let's bring in the former Trojan and Eagle. My God, what would Gary Cobb make at today's nil? Gary, I think you'd be a good, cool million, man, if you were out here in today's NFL or
Hey.
today's college football.
It's an amazing time, boy. I just tell you the things that are going on. But you know what? I really could have predicted it though, because there were things going on underneath. You know what I'm saying? There were underneath things going on. And it wasn't just where they went throwing the kind of numbers now, but there's rumors that.
Yeah. Hey, well,
There's
wait a minute. I'll say this to you. when you were playing there at USC, there was a school in that neighborhood, UCLA, and they had a guy by the name of San Gilbert who was, I don't know, he was they called him Papa somebody.
Yeah.
Who was given, I don't know how Jabbar and Walton got there.
We had, there were guys that were, around the USC program, some really guys that were very, very doing very well in the entertainment business, and making movies and all that. We had a lot of those guys, and they like to win. They like to win.
Hey, Gary, do you like, real quick before we get to the Eagles, do you like where the program is right now, Southern Cal, that they're now going to be competing in the Big Ten? That's got to feel weird for you after being a Pac-8 guy.
It's tough. I mean, they're really asking a lot, and they really got to get better up front. They do have skilled people, but to go in the places you're asking them to go into now, you need big physical people to come in there, and they got and they just haven't been as physical, and that's what's really happened out west is they haven't been able to recruit where you put together those type of lines and the D line like that, where you got big athletic, people, the best in the country. And so that's really what has to happen for really them to compete. Because you think, I mean, you're flying all the way across the country, to play these great teams, you got to go, you're going to fly into Ohio State, Michigan, fly halfway around the country and go in there. You had better be coming in there with some monsters.
Yeah. And
they haven't been able to do that as of yet. They're working on it, but it's tough, man. And they really, we would have loved to make some of them trips. We didn't have no problem going anywhere,
No, not with that old line and that defense that you guys.
But you really, boy, now you talking about you really got to recruit, and now it's gotten to where, it's about the money, man.
Yeah,
you got to be able to put some money up, some serious stuff, and they can, but it hasn't been easy, and I can't say they're on the level where we were at, man. That's
no way
where you go out there and do that kind of recruiting and things, and it's tough. It's tough.
You guys were 5 deep at every position when you.
We had a lot of players. I mean,
you were at least 5 deep. Hey,
they were able to really what they did really is they really did a good job of getting these whatever the colleges where they guys would start off at a major college. See?
Oh yeah, junior college kids. They would get them like the Arizona Western. You would get those kids out of there. You would send those kids down there. There was some of
the guys had some challenges with their school, with their grades.
Let's say this: Arizona Western. Yeah. When I was in high school, Arizona Western was feeder to USC.
That's right.
And what USC would do is they'd send these kids down there, and they go, "Look, you go here. We're going to take you." Yeah. John Robinson had a real big connection with that Texas Western program.
That's right. And they would tell the guys, "Look, we're going to pick up them grades, right?
Yep.
We're going to pick up those grades, right?
That's right.
We got to get them grades up, you guys, right?"
Last question for you on that. Did you enjoy playing at the Rose Bowl or the Coliseum more?
The Rose Bowl, because we didn't play there that often. We just played there just for the, the Rose Bowl game.
That's UCLA's home.
Yeah, I was, but man, to play out there, you see all those people, man, you come out there, which we had the same kind of people there at Coliseum, but we didn't play at the Rose Bowl, only, for that, the Rose Bowl game. So,
or the UCLA game, right?
Really, UCLA didn't get in there until I was out of there.
Oh, okay. Hey, what was your record versus UCLA?
Well, I think we lost them once. I think we lost to them once. Yeah.
So you got them 3-1. You were 3-1 against them.
You know, but they had some good teams, man.
Oh yeah, no.
They had some good
really
players, man.
Vermeil was there.
But we used to beat them and then go up there and hang around on their campus too. You know.
All right. So I'm gonna start this off. I had a topic today, and I'm gonna ask you: does it seem to you, because it seems to me, that what their actions have done, that the Eagles are looking more towards the 2026 team than they are the 2025 team? And what I mean by that is, look at the moves that they have made with these dollar Timu type signings of players.
Yeah.
And yet, here's the comments. We got a lot of young players we got to pay. We got Jalen Carter we got to pay. We don't know if we don't have to pay Nolan Smith. We don't know when we have to pay potentially Cooper. They're talking always about the future, but nothing about now. Do you feel that they're kind of putting the 2025 team as kind of like collateral damage to strengthen?
No, I don't feel that way, because I know Howie. Okay. Howie Roseman, all those picks, you believe he's going to utilize those picks? He's not. He will bunch them. He's done this in the past. He's gonna eyeball guys that can come in here right now and start. See, so that's what he's got his eye on. Whether they be players on other people's teams who might be having some kind of problem or something, you know, he will trade players and picks, especially the picks though. And he's got a bevy of picks. And so I think that they're going to do things like they're going to eyeball somebody in that first round, and they're going to go up and get somebody they know can come in right now and be a factor, you know, that they can come in and start and play. I don't think they're going to sit at 32. I think they're going to come up. I think they're going to get somebody. I think they're going to make a move that way, and they're going to look at players, you know, players that are out there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they would trade some picks from next year. See, but they are interested in winning now. He's not interested in just drafting a bunch of players. He wants guys that can come in and help him. So the guys in those early rounds, like they did last year, you know, they got two key players in the draft that came in right now, help them win a Super Bowl, you know, but they were able to play right now. So they need help on the defensive line. Clearly, they're probably looking, and like I said, they got their eye on somebody. I think they're going to try to move up in that first round to get a player either at the defensive tackle or a defensive end where he can come in and play right now and be a factor. I think that's what they're looking for. And suppose they have to give up 3 picks for it or something, but they got a guy that can help them now because they want to go back. You know, they know, look, they got all these pieces in place to win a Super Bowl. And I think they're going to be going at. That's the Howie I know. This is the way he does. And so he's got his eye on somebody right now, I bet you.
Gary, okay. Yeah. If he has his eye on somebody, is that a current player in the league? Or is that a player in the draft like he did with AJ a couple years ago where he takes that 32nd pick and he goes, and I'm spitballing here. He goes to Cincinnati and Duke Tobin and goes, you want to trade for Trey Hendrickson? And you send that 32nd pick down there because they need O-line help in Cincinnati and D-line help. Do you think that they do something potentially like that? What's more likely? You think it's somebody in the draft, or do you think he gets enough help at 32?
Well, you know, that's the thing. I know that they this is a pretty good draft for those D linemen. You know that from what I understand. They've weighted it kind of high. So because some of these kids they really feel can come in and play on this level and be exceptional, then that's a guy they've got for 3 years they don't have to pay. See, now they know if they get Hendrickson, you got to pay him. You know, he's gotten to a point now where they got to pay him. So I think they would like to have a draft pick. They would like it to be one of them, but the kid's got to be good enough and ready to go. From what I heard, some of these kids, they feel very good about them being able to come in and contribute and be a factor, you know. But what they need is they need somebody that can rush the passer, either from defensive tackle or, of course, coming around the corner And I think that they're going to try to get them, and they would like to, make that move and get a guy where in that first round, they swoop up to whatever it is, 15, 16, whatever. That if that kid is dropping, you better believe Howie's on that phone. He's on that phone. He sees that kid dropping, man. They got their eye on somebody. And this is the way they've normally done it. They've done it numerous times. In fact, come on, they did it
Devontae Smith.
With Jalen Carter. Come on, Jalen Carter, they moved up, Yep. And so, they'll be looking at guys. They think, can this kid come in and be getting pressure on the quarterback and beat these pro defensive, offensive tackles, offensive guards? Can somebody come in and beat them one-on-one? Because they're going to get them one-on-one because you got Carter there. They're doubling him. If a kid can beat a one-on-one, that's who they're looking for in this draft. And I think they're going to go try to get. They're not waiting till next year. You better believe that it's not going to be next year. They want to do it now. They know how important it is because they got the other pieces here. See, you got the offense already here. They need some defensive pieces. They got plenty of people in the secondary. They need defensive tackle, defensive end. They lost them, and they got some other guys that could grow into players. They're on the edge. They got some young guys, but they would like to get somebody could come in and play this year.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I kind of proposed this after the whole Derek Carr thing happened. So you're sitting at 32.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if you're New Orleans gets their guy at the top of the draft. They pick a guy of a need at the top of the draft. Maybe the tight end up there. Maybe they get in line to take Travis Hunter. They make a trade. I don't know what they do. Then Kellen Moore, because you've moved off of Derek Carr, don't you call Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis, the GM, and say, tell you what I'll do. I'll take your 39th pick this year. You give me your first round pick next year. And I'll give you Tanner McKee, and you get my 32nd pick so you can take Jackson Dart. Or you can have two quarterbacks with one because you had success with him quarterbacking last year as the OC. And next year, because let's face it, the Saints could be sorry next year. Yeah. You might have a 5th pick in the draft next year along with yours and all those compensation picks. Could you see him going down to 39, grabbing an edge rusher down there that falls like a Jack Sawyer, whomever, you grab again with another second, and you get next year a first. You've got 2. You get your edge and your DT at the top of the second round. Yeah. And you get a first-round pick next year. Or you call the Giants. The Giants get Travis Hunter with the 2nd or 3rd pick. Then at 32, you need a quarterback. Russell Wilson's not going to cut it. You grab your Jalen Milroe. Give me a 1 next year. Yeah. I think he's sitting in a pretty good seat down there at 32 for teams that may need a quarterback, depending on how you value the quarterbacks that are in the draft. Could you see him kind of playing around and doing some setup for 26 again in the draft and still helping the team this year?
Well, I could see him doing that without a doubt. I could see him adding, but I think this year is a priority. I think he's looking at this year as if, well, I'll get to that when I get to it. And he could add some people, but they've got so many picks. They got a lot of picks.
They got 20 in the next 2 years.
Yeah, they got a lot of picks. So I think what Howie is doing is Howie's looking at all these kids that, and they're supposed to have a bevy of them. Now, I've seen them, but, it's hard to look at these kids. Yeah, you get into the quarterback, but, this kid's blocking you. It's horrible, So you got to be able to go down there. And I haven't been in a workout where I'm sitting there looking at this kid. I want to see how he is. How big is he really, because some of the guys write one thing, you look at the kid going, wait a minute, this kid isn't whatever, So they're taking a good look. And now if I had some guys I could hire right now, follow Howie's butt all over the place, him and all of his scouts, okay? Because they're going out and they probably send a few of them to take a look at a guy they're really interested in. They're not going to send one scout. They're going to send 3 or 4 of those guys, work him out, have him do some extra stuff because they want to be sure about a guy. But I think they're going after somebody in that first round that they think can come in, help them win another Super Bowl. I'm telling you, this is what they're thinking because they got all these other pieces in place. I mean, look at all they've got. They just say, boy, if we could get a kid that can come in and beat this guard, he can beat this guard when he's one-on-one because they're doubling Carter. He can beat this guy one-on-one and get pressure and make the quarterback move. We think we can win another Super Bowl. That's what they're thinking. You can tell up there, this is the way Howie is. He's not going to be thinking about, now he's going to try to do what he can next year. And if he can, he will go ahead and get some quality picks and things. But I'm telling you, they got their mind on another one. This is what yeah.
I got two last ones here for you. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, how high do you think he'd be willing? 5 picks? 10 picks? Because the higher up, more equity. And I agree with you, Gary. He's not using 20 picks.
That's right.
In the next 2 years. He's not using
those picks. That's right.
Okay. How high would you go up if there's somebody like, I don't know.
I think Howie would try to go to 15 if he had to. He would go all the way to 15.
Wow.
He would try if he had to. What is it? Whatever it's going to cost. Now, the thing is, see, this is the thing they're doing. You got to find out what do these other teams, what are they hot for? You know what I mean? It's like you got a buddy. What kind of women does he like? You know what I mean? Hey, if this brunette is blonde or whatever, whatever he's in, he likes, a thick woman, whatever, you find out. I'm serious.
Well, I'm more of a Sierra type. I'm more of a Sierra type of guy. So that's just me.
but if you're sitting there, come on, just with the guys, that you play with, you sit there. If you got a guy gonna start running his mouth. Oh man, you could be walking on the plane. So, oh man, did you see that? Relax, man. Relax, dude. Relax. You find out what kind of women this guy likes. I mean, you're gonna find out if you're around him enough. These guys will start talking. It could be one of the stewardesses. Oh man, dude, relax, man. Relax. So they're gonna try to find out what these other teams want. And like another team could be looking for a receiver. And they could try to help them get in position to get that particular receiver, but they'll get into the guys get into their mind. And Howie's done a great job of this. In fact, I don't know why the other GMs even talk to him because he takes them to the cleaners,
especially the Saints.
Yeah, come on, he takes them to the cleaners. He finds out what they want, and he realizes, oh, hey, now these guys are sleeping. Okay, we can take these guys to the cleaners. As he ends up cleaning their clock and getting another player. You're going, how did Howie do that? Howie's got to be doing something. He's following these guys at home at night or something. What is he doing, man? Putting something in their food? But he gets them all the time. I think he's going to try to do the same thing. So I would say I would really be thinking of him moving up in the teens. If somebody that they're hot for is dropping down, he'll move up there and cut a deal, and they'll think, hey, we got another pass rusher, and we're going to try to win this thing again.
You sold me because I like him thick. I'm going Walter Nolan. I got one last one. For you.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, what do you do with Bryce Huff? What do you do with him?
Well, I think they're doing just what I was just talking about. Is that he's talking to GMs. Hey, what do you think of Bryce Huff? Hey, we had that kid up on our board or whatever. We really like him, but we just don't have any room for him. What would you guys be interested? And he's going to end up trying to get something for him.
Hey, listen, I heard that the Chargers would be willing to take the guy on if Roseman takes up some of that dough, and they take like 30% of that money. You send him back a sixth.
Hey.
And you send him out to Los Angeles, you get him off the roster. I mean, I think he can get rid. I think you can get rid of anybody, Gary, if you're willing to eat some of the dough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the Eagles have been, with the finances. That's one thing that Jeffrey Lurie has done is he's been willing to spend money.
Yeah,
in order to be, be up there on that top. So I think they're going to go after. Then I don't think they're, 2026. That is on its own. I think they're going after another one this year. So expect them to move up in that first round. And well, I don't even think. But I hear people talking about. I don't see how they would do this. Is going over there sniffing around T.J. Watt.
I heard that, and I wasn't going to bring it up to you, but here's what I say to that. I mean, if you're looking at T.J. Watt's already written it on his social media that it looks like this is going to be it. I mean, would you think about dropping something over there to go grab that kid?
Without it, they're going to go over there and talk about it. You better believe they are.
Don't they have an assistant coach that's in that building now that used to work in Philadelphia now, and I don't know how that doesn't make sense. At least to find out what they want.
I don't know how Howie does it. Like I said, he must get pictures on people. He follows the guy. He's going on now. I'm on. You know where you were at last night. I don't know what he does. But Howie has taken guys to the clean. Look at A.J. Brown. Come on. He got him from Tennessee, man, for, not even a high first-round draft pick. Come on. How do you give up a guy like that? But
I have to sneak one last one in on you here now. Mm-hmm. Please. You correct me. You know this man a hell of a lot longer than I've been covering him.
Yeah.
So I heard Brandon Graham say this. Okay. I'm 90% retired. And, I went to Howie and went like this. Howie, what do you want me to do? And when Brandon said, I really think, this is Howie, supposedly the message, isn't this a storybook ending? And I'm thinking, okay, Howie Roseman retired Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
He told him in so many ways,
mm-hmm.
Hey, look here, man, we're turning the page. We're getting younger. As much as we like you, you're 36, 7 years old, 16 years. Thank you for your service. We won't be needing you in so many ways. Because, I don't know, man, it just sounds like Brandon wanted to play another year, and Howie went, this is a storybook ending.
Well, let me say this. I heard he was up there working out. Now he's got, he hurt his arm. So he's supposed to be, is he rehabbing the arm or is he training, what is he doing to play, but like I said, he's up there working out. So, we'll see what happens.
You think it's 50-50 he plays this year?
You know what I was saying about the defensive line.
Yeah.
They figure if they get what they need from that defensive line, they think they can win this thing again. So, he's up there walking around all the time. You can't go up there without running into Brandon. You can't go up there without running into him. So he's working out. I think he's insurance. Without a doubt, I think he's insurance. I don't think that it's beyond that they would say, hey, Brandon, man.
You think Vic is chirping in his ear too?
Well, like I said, he's up there working out.
Vic likes him.
Yeah, he liked him. Yeah. And the thing that he's doing, he's up there working out. He had to rehab because he hurt his arm in the Super Bowl. So he had to be up there working out anyway. So you got a guy that, he was having a great year last year.
He was. And by the way, the game he got hurt in, that Ram game, he was the best player on defense on the field in that game.
Yeah. So, he's up there working out. Like I said, he's rehabbing that arm. But he's working out, so he's where he's supposed to be anyway. If they need him, I wouldn't. That's not the way guys have done this before. This is not. If a guy's around there, he knows, and people are comfortable with him and everything. All they got to do is say, "Hey, Brandon, they want to see you up in the office, man."
Hey, Howie wants to add another chapter to the storybook ending.
If they can get it done, they think that if they can get that defensive line, they got it. They're going after the same. They don't see any reason why they shouldn't do it again.
He might be a nice rotation piece, man. I mean, I'll tell you
that's what he was doing last year.
Compared to the guys you sign, I'll take him over them, dude.
The thing about it is, Brandon, come on, how smart is he right now? All of the experience he has, the anticipation, and we've seen it in the games that no, he's not faster or stronger than he was before, but he's smart.
Yeah,
and so he can anticipate things. He knows before the play even happens. He has an idea what they're getting ready to do, and that kind of thing, you can't buy. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's valuable, especially in big games. Especially in big games.
Absolutely.
So we'll see.
I'm gonna get me a shirt that says "Big Booty." How you doing, JAKIB?
Hey, you know how some guys are, man.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know the boys, man. What?
Hey,
would you guys relax?
Exactly what you're talking
they look,
about.
Hey, man, everybody relax, okay? Everybody.
Hey, you see her over there?
Hey,
damn right I do. We're good.
Hey, you know the boys, man. You know it. Hey, you know the boys.
I know how that works. JAKIB, thank you, brother.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
That is my good friend JAKIB, Fox 29. Make sure you check him out, covering the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, man, that's some good insight there. JAKIB talking. Brandon Graham's working out. Huh. BG. Back another year? Got to get that. I got to get that going there. Yeah. Look at that. Look at this, sir. JAKIB cheered me up after Angelo took a piss on the entire. Oh, that's what we do. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Yeah, you working out too? Yeah, I know what you're working out, Gums. M. Reyes is working out. He's working his gums. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah, working out. Yeah, this guy's working out his fork. Yeah. Working out his fork in his beer drinking hand. I'm working out too, Sales. Yeah, me too. Here's M. Reyes working his gut. Okay, he's sitting in his couch and he's eating like a barbecue sandwich. I'm doing gut crunches there, eating a BQ sandwich. How you doing? Angelo is in need of an antidepressant. Yeah. Holy cow. He's right, though, man. Nick Chiriani. He's working out his hand. I don't know. It's holy time. Kyle, sorry, I'm not going down that road. It's Holy Week. Give me a break. I'm going to try to behave myself. My boy Xander's going to be next. Let me get this in here. I got to pay some bills. Holy cow. 2 hours and 48 minutes. Big Sills is just chucking along with you. Hit that like button, homies. All right. Don't forget my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, America's #1 injury law firm in America. Unbelievable on what they're doing for the great folks in California out west. Try to get their value back on some of the insurance companies that ended up canceling their homeowners insurance so that they can get property damage back. They're absolutely servicing those folks. Down in Florida, I told you about the family was offered initially from an insurance company, $600 or $350K. They ended up getting $12 million back for them. Team of thousands are there for you at Morgan & Morgan, right here in PA. $650K offered to a family, nearly $30 million returned. That's what their resume is. Look, if you're ever injured, please do me a favor. Check out my great friends at forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. FOR, the people.com/Big Sills or pound law 529, and do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, He gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Look at this monkey. Look at my little monkey here, little Dee Dee, man, with her regional championship trophy from this past weekend. Look at that. Huh? Rugby. Regional championship. How you doing? Look at that. Undefeated. Look at that little monkey. Nothing like watching your kids succeed and playing. Like, it's all good, man. Calm down. Shit. You kidding me, man? I'm so proud of that kid. She works with special needs kids, too. That's what her job is. So she works with special needs children every single day. And she's a rugby player, and she graduated cum laude. Where'd she get that from? Now, she is a maniac. Okay? She's a maniac. But, you know, her dad. Yeah. Yeah, she's crazy, man. She's great. She's a great kid. Best thing in my life, and the best person I've ever met. You know, funny, people always say that. They go, man, Dan, you're like a really, dude, being a dad is a daily deal. It's a daily deal. Man, I'm just hoping I don't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? I just hope I don't mess it up. And I don't think I'll mess it up because, you know what my kid says too? My kid's like, I mean, she gets punched at school with these kids. And she has to have the patience of Job to like do this stuff. And she's like, Dad, you always tell me, you know, it's character. She's a character kid, you know. She makes impacts on children's lives. I said, that's what you got to do, man. I mean, her mom has done a spectacular job. Nutritionist, psychologist. She's done a really great job. She didn't get a fold-up diploma. No, my daughter's too smart for that. She's more versatile than me. I mean, graduate, cum laude. She put her, you know, name for a job. Like 20 people wanted to give her a job. That's crazy. I mean, 20 people. The only thing she says, people always go like this, is your dad Dan Sileo? And she's like, always answers like it this way. Why? Yeah. She goes, no, I love listening to him. I watch his show. And she goes, what's it like being around me? She goes, loud. Yeah. Yeah. She got, like, her high school teacher was her was the football coach at Escondido or Bernardo High School, Rancho Bernardo. Eric Allen, kid went to school there. And so what's it like being around him? She goes, loud. Okay. And you never know who you're going to meet. Like my daughter has met Elton John, Henry Rollins, Ozzy Osbourne, Vinny LeCavier, Steve Eiserman, Alexander Ovechkin. I mean, she's met Floyd Mayweather, a ton of people. I mean, Dee Dee's a great kid, man. And during this holy time, it's really wonderful to have somebody like that. So kudos to Dee Dee. I had to throw and give some love out for her. Real quick before we get Big Z in here. I'm starting to warm up on this. Okay? Trayvon Walker. Now, the Jags are saying they're not shopping him. Number 1 overall pick. Former Bulldog. This guy's 6'5", 272. I didn't realize he was that big. I thought he was smaller. He could play in multiple fronts, which Vic would love. He could play in a 34 and a 43. You called me stupid when I said it. Abe, what did I just say, Abe? You see, Abe, I said I'm warming up. I didn't think, holy cow. Abe's got selective hearing too. He's got selective hearing. Here's what you, and Abe, follow me here. He's entering his 4th season, right? Well, there's a 5th-year option there. If you made a trade for him, you would have this year, then you would have the 5th-year option. So you, instead of giving him an extension, you pay him this year. What is he owed? Like 11.8? 11.8 this year. You pick that option up, and you got a $15 million edge rusher playing on the other side of Nolan Smith, who he played with in college. Trayvon Walker, Jalen Carter, Jordan, you have the entire Georgia Bulldog national championship defensive line. I mean, Nolan Smith and Trayvon Walker are your edge rushers with Jalix Hunt and maybe BG. That sounds tremendous. I mean, Here'd be your front seven. Trayvon Walker, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ajomo, Nolan Smith. Inside, Bond and Dean. That's your front seven? That's a good-looking front seven. I don't know. I mean, I just would want to know what the price tag would be on that. Man, I love getting Angelo Cataldi on. That man just tells it like it is, and he's been doing it for 50 years. I'll tell you, so I had a conversation before I bring Xander up. I said this about Rory McIlroy's game on Sunday. Rory McIlroy is now the Brett Favre of golf. This guy could put it in the water at 13, and he could bend a hook like Tiger and put a stick high for an eagle. You talk about creating drama? Dude, Bryson DeChambeau did not show any. By the way, I love that Rory didn't speak a second to him. He didn't say a word to him the entire 4 hours. He's just sitting there. It's like he didn't the whole time playing golf. Bryson DeChambeau goes, "Hey, what did he say to you?" He goes, "No, he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't say anything." He didn't say anything for 4 hours. That's my kind of guy. Hey, man, I heard Jeff Kerr and John McMullen and Xander this morning. You know, the TJ Watt thing is so ridiculous with people like Sileo who fucking go out there and make all the – what do you think I do for a living? Who do you think I am? Think I sit around, talk truths? I talk about what could be greatness. TJ Watt, how you doing? With all further ado, by the way, I love both those guys. And I love this guy the most. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, from Birds 365, Big J, Xander Krause.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
Hey, the TJ, I'm going like, man, this is called
this is the get off my lawn curmudgeon. I thought Johnny Mac was a curmudgeon. You and Angelo put Johnny Mac's curmudgeonness to shame today. You know, if I listened to you two and I just dropped here from Mars, I'd have thought Philadelphia was in despair for the last 40 years of sports. I mean, you guys are crying about a coach we fired 15 years ago. No. Holy shit, Sills.
No, I'm talking about a coach that doesn't matter. That's in the building. You could get another guy in there, stick another stiff in there. I mean, if you asked anybody, who would you rather have, Jeff Stoutland or Nick Sirianni? You know what people would say? Give me Stoutland. If you went like this, if the success of the team is laid at the feet of Vic Fangio or Nick Sirianni, who are you taking? 99.9%, and the only other ones would be students like M. Reyes or
what
Twiz.
Type of broken Sileo evaluation is that?
I would take Vic in a second over Nick Sirianni.
What type of broken Sileo eval is that? Okay, get rid of all the coaches and the defensive coordinator was the greatest guy in the world. Come on, Sills. It was a collection of people, of talent, of coaches and everything that came together. And Nick was the head of the snake, whether you like it or not.
Proven in 23 when you didn't have the proper coaches, they were the same dudes in the building.
Now it's Super Bowl every year or bust. The guy is a 700 win percentage, and you're only ones you care about are the 5 losses he had. Bullshit. Take in the full body of work.
Guys, I'm going to show you something here, and I'll put this to sleep for you and Xander to sleep for you right now. Let's see. Let me get one more here. Here we go, right here. There it is. Okay. Guys, I'm going to make a point to you. And this is Nick Sirianni in a nutshell. Boop-a-dee-dee-dee-dee. Hang on. Let me get down here to this. So I'm going to prove a point to you guys on something. There was a man by the name of George Seifert. that had a 766 win percentage, higher than Nick Sirianni, and won 2 Super Bowls. And you know what? They fired him in San Francisco because he knew he wasn't relevant. When he goes to Carolina, he ends up being who he is. 8-8, 7-9, 1-15. George Seifert had a 766 win percentage.
So you're projecting. You're projecting on Sirianni because some other stiff in the past who went to another place and failed. You're projecting that on Sirianni.
Because that 49er organization had Carmen Policy, Ed DeBartolo, and a great front office like you do now, and the coach was irrelevant.
You're going to sound like Angelo in a couple of years like he sounds on Andy Reid. Andy Reid's one of the greatest coaches to ever grace the NFL. And Angelo talks about him like he's a pile of shit. And that's how you're starting to sound on Sirianni. Just keep winning, Nick. Keep winning, Nick. You'll be the highest paid coach. You won't go anywhere. You'll have job security. You'll have a great roster. You have a great quarterback. You got everything you need in Philly, Nick. Don't listen to Sileo and Cataldi.
I am finally putting my foot down. Sirianni's a bum.
No, he's not.
Okay? He is George Seifert 2.0.
A bum with the only guy who compares to him right now is Vince fucking Lombardi. And I shouldn't curse because it's Holy Week. But good night.
And George Seifert. George Seifert has a higher win percentage than him, and they blew him out. How you doing? All right. So here.
Nick Sirianni is an excellent coach. And more importantly, he's the right coach for Philadelphia.
No, that's
not always about the best coach. It's about the right coach.
Yep, I know. All right, here we go.
Keep glazing Tomlin for 500 and a playoff loss.
Because Tomlin actually has a job.
Okay.
He picks his coaches and his players. The
Nick
other
Sirianni
guy
doesn't have a job.
The other guy goes, hey, Howie, who do you want to hire? Who do you like in the draft?
I didn't know you were such a mediocre lover. You know, I've always took you as like the guy that wants championships, you know? But when it comes to Tomlin, you got blinders on. It's like,
what do you mean? He's got what?
The guy's a middle of the road coach right now for the last 10 years. He's a great coach overall, but
right.
He hasn't won in a long time.
No, you're right. Nick's better than Tomlin. I'll see you in Canton.
I didn't say that. I said Tomlin has been mediocre average for the last decade.
That guy took a playoff team with Mason Rudolph.
I don't give a shit. Nick Sirianni looked like a stud last year with Tanner McManning.
Hey.
You telling me Tanner McManning wouldn't lead us to the playoffs, Sills?
Okay. Hey, by the way, that stupid shit, this is where it is stupid. You're not getting a third rounder for Tanner McKee.
No, nobody thinks that.
You think you get a fifth rounder for him?
Maybe a fifth. Maybe. I mean, it depends who comes calling. But
yeah.
I don't know. He was a 6th-round pick who's played in like 3/4 of NFL football.
Oh, he's totally overachieved.
Yeah, but do we really think he's worth a 5th rounder? I mean, I think he's probably worth what you picked him at the 6th, maybe.
He did show prom. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, I mean, one game, though, you can't crow anything over that one here. All right. So let me ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
In 2025, this is what I hear in the offseason from you, John, IP, Fanatic, everyone. We couldn't afford, and let me finish, we couldn't afford to pay everyone because we got guys in the future that we have to concern ourselves with. Okay, true. Why'd you get off of CJ? Well, like I said, we got guys in the future. You know, we got to pay Jalen Carter. Okay, we have to pay Jalen Carter. Okay, that's 26, right? All right. What about now? And as John McMullen so coins it, the Temu signings. I mean, so now my question to you is, do the Eagles in the front office care more about the future, because that's all they're talking about, than the present? On the 2000, I don't hear anything about now. I hear everything about, well, got to find money. What if Nolan Smith and Jalen Saunton and the Q and Deshaun or Cooper DeJean and all these other guys have these great years? We got to worry about paying all these guys. What about now? You're signing all these guys. Okay, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe I woke up on this Monday morning and the whole team that was here is not anymore. But last I checked, best O-line in football is coming back. Last I checked, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith are coming back. Last I checked, Jalen Hurts is coming back. Saquon Barkley just signed an extension. That's your.
You'll get to the defense here in a minute.
Jalen Carter's there. Last I checked, Zach Bond, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I mean, that's a lot of guys.
You lost half the starting defense,
huh?
You lost half the starting defense,
dude. You lost the bottom 4 dudes on the starting defense. Stop with that bullshit. And you have wait. So let me ask
PFF,
unless they returned all 22 starters, was this going to be what you said?
Milton Williams was the second-rated inside interior defensive lineman in pressure of anybody in the entire league.
I wonder why that was.
And you lost half your starters on defense.
Wait, let me ask you this. Did the Philadelphia Eagles defense benefit more from Milton Williams, or did Milton Williams benefit more from the Philadelphia Eagles defense?
I think you benefit more from players. Players make it.
So you think Milton?
No, I'll take what Vic says. Players make schemes. Schemes don't make players.
I didn't say that. You're bending my words, Sileo. I'm saying the players next to Milton helped Milton elevate his game without a shadow of a doubt.
So Milton didn't help Nolan playing behind him.
He probably did. Wait a second. Milton got to play next to a second-team All-Pro.
No, he
and
didn't.
In front of
next to a stiff.
And in front of in a 4-man front, he played next to Jalen Carter. And
he was on the other side of. He
played in front of first-team All-Pro Zach Bond. But if Sileo told you he was the most important of the 3 because he left the Eagles, it's bullshit.
He was the most important player with the versatility of what he brought to that D line because he could play anywhere on that line. That is a Vic Fangio MO. That is what he loves.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right, Sills. You build your D around Milton Williams and Joshua Sweat. No, I'll build my defense around Jalen Carter and Zach Bond. See you, Sills.
It's not one player. It's the 5 you lost. It's a group.
No, I'm not saying they're not. They matter, but you said they act like they had the future or the now doesn't matter. They got a lot of guys coming back.
Ringo's the future.
And by the way, you overrate Gardner Johnson. Like a nice player and all. The guy was a middle of the pack safety at best.
All I'm going by is every year he's been in Philly, he's been in the Super Bowl.
Howie gave him up for Kenyon Green.
Yeah, all I know is it's funny. 12 turnovers. Second in the league, first in the league in turnovers, and he was in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. I don't know. There's something weird about that.
Wait, so now the Super Bowl is a CJ Gardner Johnson accomplishment? You won't even let me give Jalen Hurts credit for it, but you want to give it to CJ Gardner Johnson, everybody. That's the reason we went to the Super Bowl. Oh, Sills.
Oh, you think they
believe your lies?
Do you think they care more about the 2026 season or the 25 year?
They care about all of them. If you're Nick Sirianni, the answer is 25. If you're Howie and Jeff, you have to. Because if you don't prepare for the future, then what are you really doing?
Okay, wait. No. Correct. What outside of the Bond move have they done that makes you think that they have improved the 25 team?
Drafted incredibly well the last 4 years.
Incredibly well?
Incredibly well. Yes.
Okay.
Incredibly well.
Incredibly well. How long did it take Nolan Smith to show up? 2 years?
A year and a half at best. He just had wait a second. He had 5 sacks in the playoffs in the end of his second year. It didn't take him 2 years to arrive. It took him 12 games.
All right, folks. It took him a year and a half. All right.
And he didn't play. And he didn't play at the beginning of the year.
It took him a year and a half.
And he barely played last year.
They would never have signed Bryce Huff.
Guy just
If they
delivered
thought the
5
guy
sacks
was
in the
worth the
playoffs.
shit. How about this? How long did it take Milton to develop? 3 years? Okay. Hey, how long did it take Dean? 2 years? Okay. Hey, let me say this to you. So
Now
wait a
it's
minute here.
instant
You
success.
think you're going to slug a guy in at 32? Voila. It's like ripping a hook around Eamon's corner. You think you're going to be able to? By the way, don't.
What about Quinyon Cooper and Jalix?
Great. We'll see if they don't have a Sauce Gardner second year.
All right, I agree with that. They still got to play big this year, and it's obviously hard to get a guy that contributes that much. But I mean, they've drafted exceptionally well. So yes, this offseason looks different. There's no big name acquisition yet. All right, we'll see if there is one, but I don't think there will be. But we'll see if they do something.
Look, I heard you this morning, and I think the Watt thing's stupid too.
No, you're right though about Jeff and John. They're like curmudgeons. They don't even let people talk about it. It's like, dude, they're fans. What? Wait a second. This is what I don't think Jeff or John understand, because they're so entrenched in their job. Like, this is our job.
That's right.
People come here outside of their job as their hobby, as their release, as their entertainment, whatever it is. Like, of course they're going to entertain or think about TJ Watt coming to their team. But John and Jeff are like, no, you can't even think about it or else you're a dumbass. I'm like, okay, guys. I mean, sometimes those two get rolling and I just sit back and let them go.
I know. I watch you. I watch
and
your
start
face.
producing because I'm like, all right, these two.
I know. And you do a great job there. But do you think look, Howie, like, man, he turns over every stone, dog. If there's something out there, he's going to call them and go, what are you guys looking at? Because he'll want to know what the market value of that position is, because he may have to pay that Nolan Smith kid one day. Look, is TJ Watt going to get in the open market? I don't know how old he is. Is he in his early 30s?
I think he's 30.
30? Holy shit.
No, he might be younger than that. He's 30, bro. He turns 31 in October.
Is he younger than Myles Garrett?
I think he's older than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was 29, turning 30, remember?
Okay, so they just gave that guy 40.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles ain't paying that guy 35.
I'm sorry. I like TJ Watt a lot. All right, I really do. But I'm not saying he's not a great player and he's not worth $40 million. But is he worth $40 million for this team? That's my question.
Well, wait, ask yourself, how far away do you think you are from winning another Super Bowl? And if you think you're one player away, Tanner, when you're 15 players away like Dallas, that doesn't make any sense, or New York, the Giants. But if you think you're one player away, don't you think that's worth the gamble, that you're one player away?
It depends, because, just like you just said, are we giving up 25 for 26, which I don't think is true, but you're fair to wonder that. It's fair for you to wonder that. What are you going to give up 27, 28, and 29 because you want to capitalize on 25? The better move is to play the longer game, because let's be real, winning a Super Bowl is a hard task. So if you create a better team over a longer period of time, you increase your odds tenfold to go back there for the stars to align one year and for you to win the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen every year, but you do have to maintain a good roster. And not that they would have to blow it up to get TJ Watt, but like you just said, you're probably not paying Nolan. You're definitely not paying Jordan Davis. So you're probably just looking at, you'll probably even move off a Bond after 2 years, with that type of move. So I don't really love.
So you think it's too much of a move off the plan to go after a guy like that?
Yeah, and I just think the way they built this steady ship, man, has worked so well right now. They're firing on all cylinders. The whole team, a lot of this team is built in the draft, is built by acquiring good young players on this team. Keep it up. If you do that, you're going to have the best chance at success and to contend year in and year out. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, but can you be a top 5 team every year? That's rarefied air. Not many can do that. And I think the Eagles are in a position to do it. They just got to keep making a couple of good decisions. Every offseason, you're going to have some misses. Look at Bryce Huff, but you were able to prevail without it. That money gets off the books next year. So you're going to get that freedom and that wiggle room back. I think the team's in a good spot. Got to hit on this draft pick. That's why I floated trading up. I know people don't think it's because it's not a great draft, but
how high?
I just think whatever it takes to go and get you a guy that you feel
do what Gary said and go up to 15. I
don't think they're going to do that, because that's going to require another first round pick.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that. I'm talking Sills. What do I get if I give 32, a 3, and 2 5s? Something like that. All right. Can I get up to 28, 27 and get James Pierce or get Ezeraku or get Walter Noel? Like, it depends what the Eagles board is. But I want a guy that they feel confident about, because every time they felt confident about a player the last couple of years, it's been pretty good for the most part. Devontae Smith, they traded up to grab him. They jumped the New York Giants to get him at 10. They traded from 10 to 9 to pick up Jalen Carter. All right. Those two players obviously both worked out. They sat good, felt good about Quinyon Mitchell. They traded up to draft Cooper DeJean. They traded up to draft Cam Jurgens. Like, all of these players, they're working out. So if the Birds are confident in somebody, go get them. Go get them.
Do you agree? These 4 players, and then it kind of looks like no faces, and they look the same. It's Cam Ward, it's Travis Hunter, it's Abdul Carter, and I'll tell you this: even that Tyler Warren kid, I'll put them 4 dudes in there, and I'll go like this: those 4 guys, if they were ever within reach, now Cam's not, Hunter's not, and Carter's not. But I'll tell you what, man, if that kid's sitting at 15 or 16, could Howie jump up there and grab? I don't think he's Brock Bowers. He's an awful good player, man, that Tyler Warren kid.
I think, I don't think he's anywhere close at 16, bro. I think he's a top 10 pick this year. I don't see that much. Look, I know people don't value tight end like that, and that would be the one reason he wouldn't go.
But if you look at tight ends are important in today's
world. But also, if you look at Sills' like raw talent in this draft, you could make a case for him at top 5. You could. Yes. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying you could make a case if you went off talent alone, not positional value, not any of those things. Tyler Warren's 5 top 5.
Based on talent, he's in that conversation.
So I think he's going to go early. I think anywhere from 8 to 12, 8 to 15 is his range. I think he's above the Eagles' pay grade. Maybe a Colston Loveland. I heard a weird take today from somebody. Who the heck was it? I got to think of who it was. He mentioned Mason Taylor to us, but he didn't mention it in the 2nd or 3rd round. He thought at 32. And I'm like, what? Now Mason Taylor's a 1st-round pick? Like, I didn't see that at all. So I don't know. A lot of misinformation and bullshit coming out.
He had a great pro day, and
I saw that. But
well, I talked to Joy about him. That's Joy's cousin.
Yeah, cousin, right?
Okay, and Joy told me he had a really great, and he's had some meetings, and he's gone to a lot of places, and he's had like a ton of visits. So he's gone around, and they're talking about drafting him in the 1st round or the top of the 2nd.
I don't like 1st round for him.
By the way, all supers, and please hit the like button here. All right, hey, dude, I'm not saying anything. I'm just throwing this name out. I'm starting to warm up to Abe's Trayvon Walker. 6'5", 272. You got 2 years with him. 11-8 this year. Then you have an option, 50-year option with him. You could keep him at that 11 and then 16. And your D-line would be, now I don't know what you'd have to give up for him. Okay? 6'5", 272. And I talked to some folks down there. You could put him in a 34, 43, 5. He plays across the board. He's had a really good start to his career. He's got 28 sacks, and he's only 24 years old. I mean, is there anybody better than him in this draft at edge? I mean, when I look at Abdul Carter, is he better than Trayvon Walker? I don't know, because this guy's huge too. Abdul Carter's not 6'5", 272. No, I mean, when I look at him, I go, dude, I make a trade at 32, give him my 1st round pick. Trayvon Walker, I get him in return, and I get 2 years, and I get the 4th year. I get his this year, then I get a 5th-year option.
Right. And Howie, Howie will make that contract perfect.
Right. And then get this, you signed a Devontae Smith type deal where
I'm doing this
friendly.
I'm doing this deal. I would do this deal. See, this is what I'm talking about, where you get an impact player. Send 32. Who cares? By the way, the Jags pick at 5 overall. They could take Jalen Walker from Georgia and probably get an upgrade. I really like Jalen Walker, dude.
He's a great
I
player.
think he's going to be better than Trayvon. I mean, maybe not, but I do think Jalen Walker's a tremendous football player.
Trayvon Walker's not been a bust.
No, he has not been. He's at 2 straight double-digit sacks. He
Yeah.
10 plus sacks
I think
2
he's
years
a
in a
good
row.
ball
I
player.
mean, he had a good rookie year as well. So he's not – I just don't think he fits there. I don't know what the deal is or why they would move off of him. But if they're considering it, that's something I would do. I mean, I value him over a James Pierce or even a Walter Nolan. And if you can get away with doing it with just that first pick and maybe some latter round picks, so you keep that second and third, that's what we really need, then I would feel really good about doing that move.
All right. Let me throw this at you here. What Eagle do you believe will regret leaving the Philadelphia Eagles more? And I'm going to give you the big 3. Mekhi Becton, Milton Williams, or Josh Sweat. Of those 3 players, because CJ was traded. That was their call to do that. Who do you think will regret leaving the organization more? Becton, Williams, or Sweat?
Regret leaving?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Becton.
Me too.
I'm going to say Becton because I don't think Becton is going to be able to recreate anywhere close to what he was able to do in Philly. On a human level, I hope he doesn't, because you heard him talk this year a little bit about how he was down in the dumps. And, football is a high-pressure sport. There's a lot of attention on you. There's fans chirping. There's people chirping constantly. In a way, if you live in that vacuum, it probably feels like it can close in on you at any point. I hope to God that doesn't happen to Mekhi Becton again because, he was in a shitty situation with the Jets. They didn't know how to get the most out of the player. They made him feel like shit about it. The fans made him feel like shit, and it just didn't work out. And as you can see, if a player doesn't succeed in a certain organization, that's not necessarily an indication that that player isn't able to compete or be in the pros or succeed somewhere else. Now, not everybody gets the chance to succeed somewhere else.
That's right.
That's the key. But Mekhi did, and now he, went back to LA, not back to LA, but now he's on his 3rd team in 3 years, and we'll see. I hope it works out for him. I really like Mekhi Becton. I thought it seemed like a great dude to me, and I hope that he has great success. But I think he's the one that's going to miss Philly the most.
I'll tell you this, man. I mean, that you mentioned it, and Xander.
I mean, wait, just to finish it off, though. I mean, if you're Milton, you might be like, man, I miss Jalen Carter. But that 27 large feels
Oh, no. That won't make me feel all right,
yeah,
man.
right. Like, give me an ice pack. I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Xander, that used to be a Death Star. If you bombed at a place, you were out.
Right.
And you were out of the league. Now, because of what you're seeing, people go places and they get that. Sometimes it's organizationally. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield. Is he not a great example of that?
Yeah, but you're a great example of it. Imagine if you had a coach who said, I'm going to play you like, let's use a modern example.
If I came to Philly,
Milton Williams or Javon Hargrave, just go get the quarterback skills. Right. Just go get the quarterback skills. You would have been a freaking monster.
That's right.
But, not everybody was afforded that opportunity. Not everybody's afforded it now, by the way. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with them, man.
All right. Here's my Big Sills Power 5. This is players that I think you could take down here. By the way, I saw that Malachi Starks came in for a visit, which is not shocking. My 5 guys.
He's the best safety in the draft, though, not Nick Emenwari. Okay.
No, he's not.
It's not Nick Emenwari. It's Malachi Starks.
No, he'll be the best. Emenwari will be the most available safety for you at 32, but Malachi will be, in my opinion. Here's my 5. I got Pierce. I'm sold on him. I'm totally sold on him.
I like him. Very productive, Sills.
What?
Very productive in college.
Explosive.
Now, here's the thing with him. I think there could be some startup costs with him. He's pretty small. He's relies a lot on his athleticism on the tape, if you look at that. And that's not a bad thing, but when you're in college, you can get away with that. You're not going to get away with that going against NFL tackles. You're even bad NFL tackles. So I really like Pierce. I think he maybe has one of the highest upsides of the edge rushers, but I do wonder if that initial startup cost could spook the Eagles just because of where they are as a franchise.
So I'm looking at the NFC East. Who are the left tackles in the East outside of the Eagles? The Giants have a really great left tackle. Washington just got Laramie Tunsil added to the group. Does Dallas have a left tackle? They need a premier pass rusher in Philly.
Tyler Guyton?
Guyton.
They drafted him last year in the first round.
Stinks.
Was he an Oklahoma guy?
Yeah, he's the OU kid.
I remember him in
He
college.
is a turnstile.
He was a turnstile. Did he have a bad rookie year? I didn't really follow him. We didn't follow the putrid Dallas Cowboys last year.
He was terrible. He was just, I mean, he's somebody who's trash can. Yeah, he was nuts. So to me, the Giants have a good left tackle. Washington upgraded their tackle. That's again, I mean, they got better. Whether you think of Tunsil or not.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt they got better. There's no doubt.
Okay. The 19 holding penalties is ridiculous. Okay. But, yeah. So I want a big time pass rusher out there, man. So I got James Pierce. I'm sold on him from Tennessee. Bro, I'm going to put Malachi Starks in here. I see too many great things. The kid sets people up. He knows how to do the wheel where he sets a guy up, goes to the point, setting quarterbacks up. He's got an IQ off the charts. Get this. I heard this, and I pointed this out to you last week. I heard that Kirby Smart saw a week of practice and said, that's my starting safety when he was a freshman.
Yeah, I can see that.
They had Trayvon Walker. They had Jordan Davis. They had Jalen Carter. They had all those guys. And Kirby goes, that guy's starting for me 1 week in Athens. That tells me a lot on an organization that has spotted really good D guys. You know, the one thing I'm starting to learn about Georgia, they're not wrong on their assessment of the talent that they bring into Athens. These guys are not bombing, dude.
No, they're good. But here's the thing on Starks. While I do think he's the best safety in this draft, because I think people are a little too enamored with Warri's athletic abilities. Like I think you can bet on that, but I think Malachi is a much higher floor as a safety in the league. My question with Malachi is, what type of upside does he have in the long term? Maybe the long term doesn't matter, but I don't think he's Kyle Hamilton. Remember when Kyle Hamilton was coming out?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that. So I know he was a great player and he's great in this draft. I just don't know what his upside is. I mean, he's also not the most athletic dude in the world. Again, his game tape is impressive. So I can't be the type of dude that's like, hey, he didn't perform well in the underwear Olympics, so I'm not going to take him. I think he's the best safety in the draft. But I do wonder how his game translates to the pros and then what type of upside he has later for a first-round draft pick. I'm out on him in the first round for the Eagles.
The other guys are Walter Nolan and Kenneth Grant. The kid from Michigan, I think, is better.
You think he's going to be down there?
I don't know. Here, do you not agree?
Well,
wait, let me show you this here, though. If you look at every mock draft, you got guys 5th pick, 15th pick. You got guys 9th pick, 28th pick. Nothing is consistent except for this, right? Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter. After that, isn't every other guy's mock draft subject to what the taste is and what you like? Because
here's the thing.
There's nobody after those three guys.
I could see.
I think
Walter.
the Tyler Warren kid would be higher if he wasn't playing tight end.
Yeah, I agree. I could see Walter falling a little bit. I do not see Kenneth Grant falling. Definitely not past 20. I don't see it. I mean, here's the thing. Also, if the Eagles are going to take Kenneth Grant,
would you move
probably
up?
Got your answer on Jordan Davis.
Oh, you do? And do you think he moves up?
You're
moving up if you move up.
Falling 32. There's no way Kenneth Grant is available at 32 overall. Now remember, he's 6'4", 330. You're not keeping him and Jordan Davis.
No.
You're not.
No.
Remember the segment me and you had, I don't know if it was last week or whatever it was, about, well, it depends what Vic wants. Does Vic want to be able to stop the run in a 4-man front? That'll be your answer on Jordan Davis. If he likes the 5-man front on first down, you have your answer. If he'd prefer to stop it with the 4-man, which, let's be real, most defensive coordinators would because you get an extra man in coverage, that's your answer. But maybe he's comfortable with it, the setup now. If you get Kenneth Grant, I don't think Jordan Davis is back.
No.
Kenneth Grant is not a great pass rusher, is he? He's good, but he's not like Walter Nolan. He's not like what's the other Michigan dude? Mason Graham. Mason Graham.
Mason Graham's better prospect.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, definitely. Mason Graham might go top 5.
Yeah. He might go top 5.
Yeah, I could see Mason Graham top 5.
I just think these guys, I think they can all fall. And I got Josh Simmons, that offensive lineman from Ohio State down there, that the Eagles could possibly get him.
It's not bad. He's not my favorite, but that's not bad.
Here, look, James Pierce, Malachi Starks, Nolan, Grant, and Simmons. Probably, like you said, you're going to have to move up to get – you might have to move up to get both Nolan and Grant if you want those guys that bad. I think they're moving. Bro, I'm telling you, that 32nd pick, man, my opinion, if I can get a first-round pick, what's more valuable to me? Getting a first-round pick next year and addressing DT and edge in the top of the second round this year, didn't I do the same thing? Yeah. Especially if the draft is as watered down as we think it is.
Right.
I mean, you improve your team and you got a first-rounder next year, and you got 2 next year. I mean, I don't know. I think the play is to move out. One last one here for you before we read the supers.
I don't think you're going to get that much, though, Sills. I really don't.
At 32, I think it depends on who's down there and who's desperate. I heard you guys say something. I took the topic from you guys.
Love it.
Bro, if you're telling me you're going to keep me at nickel corner, and I want to play fucking corner, and there's a $15 million difference.
More than that.
My agent's going to have a conversation with you because Philly ain't for me then. Because I'm not making $15 million sitting in the slot because you think it's best for the team. I'm calling my agent, Drew Ozenhouse, and going like this. You get me on the next bus out of Philly because if I don't play corner, you're paying these guys $30 million out there on the number.
Look around. Look, that question. I'm 100% with you on this. That question has answered itself. In fact, if they don't listen to Cooper or put him outside, I could see a dispute coming because we just saw 2 top nickel guys get paid $40 and $45 million deals, not per year, total deals. You saw a couple cornerbacks get paid, and by the way, good corners, but not the best corners in the league. And all of the deals were 100 million plus, or 90 million, or 80 million. There's no way they should keep Cooper Najee in the slot. It's not if, it's when. I think one more year, they'll keep him in the slot. After that, he's going outside.
You bet, man. I mean,
that's too much money, Sills. That's too much money. You're going to cost the guy $50 million on his next contract?
No, I mean, I'd look at Vic and go, I love you to death, dude, but you're costing me $25 million sitting in that hole.
I'm awake. I would put him on the outside this year.
Me too.
I mean,
I think it's easier to replace him
against that earlier because I said I'd rather move him now. And now other people were saying, and I agree with this, that he's such a ball hawk. You want him at the slot. He's closer to the line of scrimmage. He's closer to the ball. He can make more plays. You know, you point to the Jamar Chase motion play on 4th down where he was so close to the line of scrimmage, went with him in motion and made the play. I get that, but if you're going to put him outside anyway, we just lost Darius Slay. You're going to put Keely Ringo?
What do you think is harder to find, corner or nickel?
Yeah, it's tough. I think maybe in today's day and age, it might be nickel. Might be.
Because he's more versatile, because he covers the tight ends and backs and plays center field.
Yeah. Now, I know it's unconventional to say that. It's very hard to find a starting cornerback. I mean, you're talking to Philadelphia. We haven't had a starting corner before Darius Slay. It was a long time after, Lido and those guys.
Choose your best guy in 20 years.
Exactly. So,
all right. Hit the like button here. Let's read
both ways. Yeah, I got to run. I got 18 minutes before
somebody
this
super Xander.
Oh, let's do it. Here we go. Riding the bench. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. He says Nick has as many Super Bowls as John Harbaugh, Tomlin, McCarthy, Carroll, McVay, and Doug. He ain't a scheme guy nor the best, but those players played for Sirianni. Facts, right?
Or Seifert, Sirianni.
Bullshit. Just keep winning, Nick. Again, Sirianni or even Sileo will bow. Okay, if you keep winning, Sileo, just like he had to do on Jalen Hurts, will bend the knee and he will say, "You've earned it. Just keep winning, Nick."
That's right.
Theo.
Hey, cheerleader, just keep winning. Go ahead, kid. He's the most expendable guy. He's the most expendable guy in the building.
Oh, bullshit. The head coach is the most expendable guy in the building. Find me another fucking sports team that's been true forever in any sport.
George
Seifert.
BS. I just found you.
George Seifert, when was he?
He coached for the 49ers. He won 2 Super Bowls. They
When?
fired.
What year?
I think 98. Is that right? Something like that.
Sound like a Cowboy fan. Brian Pumper, fellas, we are not trading up. It's going to be trade back or offensive tackle at 32. Fanboys are going to be upset. I swear my fan base is full of masochists. No, it's not, Pumper. Shut your mouth.
I look at Xander getting out. Look at you.
Hey, what a dumb comment.
Hey, Pump, I love you, man. It's all good, Pump. How you doing?
If you're right on that, Pump, it'll be the first thing. Frame it up, put it in your room, get a nice picture frame, and stick it on the wall. You'll remember it a while.
Angelo will be coming on the Monday after the weekend draft.
Good. I can't wait to hear him tell you how it was the worst pick in the history of all picks, and then the guy becomes a Pro Bowler in year 1. Josh Salter.
Get this. You'll never hear me on a Monday ever say that that's a shitty pick. You know why? You don't
did
know.
it on Devontae.
No, I said that I did not believe that a schwimp could stay healthy. He was a schwimp.
You did. Jody Mack hated you from that point forward. When you came on and told him you didn't like Devontae Smith, he was so mad after the show.
Who?
Says, do you not think C.J. Gardner-Johnson brought a swagger to the defense? Yes, he was a gambler and had some mental lapses, but he made momentum-changing plays and brought swag. Yeah, bro. Well, swag isn't everything, okay? And he was good, but he wasn't the maker of the defense. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
Super Bowl appearance.
Irreplaceable? No.
Super Bowl appearances.
You sound like Brian Pumper, Salter. Irreplaceable? Come on. Guy got burned. How many touchdowns did I watch him give up last year? 6? 7? He gave up more touchdowns than anybody else in the secondary.
You're right. He sucked.
Somebody get me the data. Who gave up the most touchdowns in the Eagles secondary last year?
I don't know. I think he slipped the ring on too.
I'm telling you right now, it was C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I know. He's replaceable by Tristan McCullum.
I didn't say Tristan McCullum was the replacement.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, wait, real quick here. Tyler Steen, Sidney Brown, and if Nakobe can't stay healthy, aren't those 3 third-round picks that if they don't have a really great year this year and stay healthy, those guys would be bust, right? Go on.
One of our third-round picks just signed for $28 million. Got the highest deal in Patriots history.
Overpaid.
Way overpaid. And you wanted to keep him.
No. What I wanted to do was
it was our GM.
That's right. Get rid of a 27-year-old DT for what?
This team would be absolutely screwed.
Thomas Booker III.
Sileo is one of the best talk show hosts on planet Earth ever. If he was our GM, our team would be fucked, everybody. And I shouldn't curse, but I am.
We get them all?
We got them all. Oh, wait, did we? Let me double check. Yeah, we got them all. I got to run.
Please. I mean, hey, tomorrow.
Wait a second. Rob Thompson, Canadian? No, Pumper, don't tell me that.
Oh my God, you got a manager. Didn't I tell you? They'll
no,
fire
Pumper, you can't be right.
Hey, don't fire
Yo,
Rob.
he's a Canadian.
Oh my God. Rob
Bubba,
Thompson.
you just ruined the Philly season for me.
Holy cow.
It all makes sense now.
You might as well tell Philly fans he's from Dallas.
Dude, it all makes sense. Brandon Howard, I'm sorry. LJ, I'm sorry. You Canadian. You just ruined the Philly season for me, Pump.
Holy cow. The only thing, like I told you, man.
Oh, it makes sense.
They'll fire Rob Thompson by the end of the year.
The guy just sits there and lets the games happen to him. He doesn't do anything to dictate the outcome.
Let me
He
go,
just sits there and lets the games happen, and now I know
Awesome
why.
stuff, brother. I appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you, Sills.
You got it. Don't forget to catch these guys. Great show they do, Birds 365. Each and every single Monday through Friday. Make sure you guys check them out. Super stuff. Don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. With over $26 billion recovered for clients across the country. Track record is second to none. You hear all these injury law firms around the country. They try to throw up their resume. They can't. It's unprecedented because it's a family-owned business. They run that business like John has his family. He looks at Morgan & Morgan like his family's, which means he will do and they will do what's in the best interest for you and your family. Told you about the family in Pennsylvania that got a $26 million recovery from an insurance company that wanted to only give them $650,000. Same in Florida. Wanted to give them $350K. They ended up getting nearly $15 million. Folks, I say this all the time. If you're ever injured, it'll be the easiest decision that you ever make. Please check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan. Go forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That is FOR, thepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
You guys lose 25% of your snaps. Same team. Milt Williams ain't shit. You hear, Xander? Booker T. Washington. Put his ass in there. Yeah, just put Booker T in there. He get it done. Milton Williams. You kidding me, man? Yeah, we'll put Booker T. Washington, and then we'll get somebody in the 14th round. Slug his ass in, man. We got this thing covered. How you doing? I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I heard Xander did make a point. He goes, if Sills was our GM, I'll tell you one thing I could be better than Daryl Morey. You don't really have to be good to be a GM in Philly unless it's with the Eagles. I mean, Daryl Morey, what has he ever won? Wait, James Harden. That's what he's tied to. James Harden, the guy who couldn't play defense and was a shooter, an MVP, and great during the regular season. Gee, explain something to me. Is it Joel Embiid, the center version of James Harden? Is he not? Doesn't like to play D, is a shooter from the perimeter, a former MVP who doesn't give a shit about the playoffs. Hey, it sounds like James Harden. James Harden and Joel Embiid are the same guy. And they both work for Daryl Morey. I don't know. Sounds pretty, maybe it was a coincidence. Right? Maybe it's just a coincidence there. James Harden, scorer, MVP. Joel Embiid, scorer, MVP. I don't give a shit about the playoffs. Huh. Dude, Morey killed the Sixers more than Elton Brand did. At least Elton Brand was told to do that. Look at this here. Hey, Joey. And I'm sure he'll go a long way. Look at Joey. And Harden's in the playoffs next week. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be going for the ride. Oh, man. Look at Joel Embiid ruined the Sixers. No, Joshua Harris ruined the Sixers. All right. I'm telling you, one of those five guys that I mentioned, James Pierce, Tennessee, Malachi Starks, Georgia, safety, Walter Nolan, DT, Ole Miss, Kenneth Grant, DT, Michigan, or the OT from Ohio State, Josh Simmons. And if it's not one of those dudes, here's what I'm doing at 32. Okay, what are we, 10 days out from the draft? Here's what I'm doing. Dude, I'm going to take that 32nd pick, and if I could somehow conjure up a first-round pick next year, I'm trading out of that thing, and I'm going after the Raiders, who are sitting at 37, the Giants at 34, and the Saints at 39. And I'm going to tell them, what do you give me for it? And I can address all my needs on the second day of the draft in round 2. I'll say it one more time. I think there's 4 dudes in this draft that are blue chip guys. Maybe only 3. The rest of them, they all look the same to me. Okay? They all look the same. I'm moving up for who? A D tackle that I could get the same guy in the second. I'm looking for value picks. I'm not trying to overextend myself again like I did for Jordan Davis. You know, the one thing they did learn, if they learned anything about the Jordan Davis pick, my opinion, Jordan Davis would have been down there for the Eagles at 22 if they had stayed down there. Because he is the – do I think Jordan Davis is still a first-round pick? The only reason he's not a first-round pick is because he doesn't play 3 downs. How could a guy be a first-rounder and not play 3 downs? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're looking for a guy who plays 3 downs. And in the next 10 days, here's what you got to keep an eye on as well. The next 10 days, I think they're going to make a decision on the 5th-year option. Now, I think you'll learn a lot about Jordan Davis's future prior to the draft. This is a prediction, Xander. I believe they'll pick up that 5th-year option before the draft. And that'll be the Death Star to his future, because everybody like that would get a 3-year contract extension. Cam will get a 3-year contract extension. Davis won't. And then Jordan Davis is going to have to beat out, or he is going to have to improve his game. If he is going to get a 3-year extension, he's still playing for a 3-year contract extension. Right now, they've got to, I mean, has he played well enough to get the 5th-year option? Here, real quick, before we get out of here. Has Jordan Davis played well enough to keep the Eagles giving him that 5th-year option and picking up the 5th-year option? I'm going to say yes, because he did play in a number 1 ranked defense, and they were great against the run. I think he's played well enough to get the option. I do not believe he's played well enough to get a 3-year contract extension. That's kind of where I'm at with him. Okay? Way to kick off this Monday. We appreciate you guys so much, man. Thank you again. Big Z, Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we will see you on the flip side.